This is a strange world. All commoners must bear 10 children before the age of 30, or they will be executed. Centuries ago, it all started when a massive number of ghosts suddenly appeared in the world, wreaking havoc. The unrestrained lip-killing of humans led to a sharp decline in the human population, until the emergence of a profession called onmyoji, where we barely able to resist those evil spirits. But not everyone can become an onmyoji. It's safe to say they are 1 in 10,000. To cultivate a large number of onmyoji, the rulers announced, all civilians must have 10 children before the age of 30. These children, shortly after birth, will undergo the 100 days examination. Those who are selected for being contaminated by ghostly objects will become candidates for the ghost masters. Those who are not selected are often abandoned by their parents. Lin Feng was one of them. Although he chose a ghost relic, it was only a bow tie with a trace of ghost energy. Thus, he was abandoned by his parents and became a beggar on the streets. He struggled for 10 years, finally waiting for today's awakening ceremony. As long as he can summon his own ghost in this test, Lin Feng will defy fate. Soon, the invigilator appeared. It was a man whose appearance defied definition, neither human nor ghost. Ghostly flames flickered in his eyes. He began to chant an incantation. Everyone immediately produced their 100 days capture ghost spirit tokens. Some summoned a ghostly umbrella, others raised a spectral apparition. But Lin Feng's bow tie remained unresponsive. Before he could try again, the invigilator ordered all those who hadn't awakened to leave. This meant Lin Feng would return to the slums to accept his procreation task. Some couldn't accept such a fate, and went mad, trying to attack the invigilator. The next second, his whole body transformed into 1,000 people. Seeing this, Lin Feng didn't dare hesitate any longer, and could only leave the examination room dejectedly. But as soon as he stepped out the door, a scream came from inside. It turned out to be a fat man. What he summoned was actually an evil spirit. The fat guy was controlled by the evil spirit in the blink of an eye. It started a killing spree in the classroom. These newly awakened recruits were no match for it. They could only desperately flee. By the time Lin Feng came to his senses, the evil spirit had already charged at him. But he didn't dodge at all. As if accepting this fate, I prepared to die by the evil spirit's blade. However, the next second, a white figure suddenly appeared before me, blocking the fatal blow. Lin Feng was shocked. Could this be my companion spirit? Before I could think it through, the evil spirit erupted with terrifying energy again. The invigilator quickly shouted, "Fall back. This evil spirit has reached Class D. You can't handle it." So the invigilator didn't act earlier. He wanted to test the newcomer's abilities. He didn't expect to discover Lin Feng, this unexpected surprise. But what surprised him even more was that this evil spirit had reached Class D. Just as he was about to make a move, Lin Feng suddenly picked up a chair and went head-to-head with the evil spirit. He thought he could hold his own with his physical strength, but he still underestimated this evil spirit. The evil spirit easily smashed the chair to pieces. He was about to be killed with one blow. At the critical moment, seeing the frail spirit companion instantly caught the falling blade. Black liquid dripped onto Lin Feng's face. Before he could react, a crimson light suddenly erupted from the spirit companion. The blade in the evil spirit's hand shattered into pieces. Under the shocked gazes of everyone, this powerful D-class evil spirit was beaten to oblivion. The crisis was completely over. The energy-depleted familiar spirit transformed back into a bow. It returned to Lin Feng's hand. Behind him, the proctor's applause rang out. "Congratulations, becoming a qualified ghost master." Although he appears calm on the outside, he is deeply shocked on the inside. An E-level spirit defeating a D-level evil spirit. This is not something just anyone can do. Pay attention. A ghost is floating around. The people in the car don't seem to care at all. It turns out this is a world where ghosts and humans coexist. Hundreds of years ago, countless ghosts descended to the human world. They survived by feeding on the blood and flesh of the living. To defend against these malevolent spirits' attacks, a profession emerged in the world. Ghost Masters. Lin Feng is a newly awakened Ghost Master. The school is assigning them dorms right now. This is also a test. The entire dormitory area is divided into 3 sections. The bungalow section, the apartment section, and the villa section. The better the dorm, the stronger the evil spirits living inside. To live there, you must kill these evil spirits first. The girl wanted to team up with Lin Feng to clean out a dorm room, but he didn't even look at her, and went straight to the deepest part of the villa area. Seeing this, the old gatekeeper at the entrance kindly advised him, "These new villas haven't been lived in for over a decade. It's not that nobody wanted to move in, but those who tried, all died inside." But before the old man could finish, Lin Feng pushed the door open and entered. As soon as he went in, a sharp blade fell from above. Luckily, my companion spirit, Tong Tong, appeared in time, and blocked it. I was about to counterattack, but the evil spirit showed no intention of fighting. It turned and ran. Tong Tong instinctively chased after it. Lin Feng immediately reacted. It's a ploy to lure the enemy away, but it's too late. The evil spirits hiding behind him strike at Lin Feng. Tong Tong tries to turn back to help, but he's entangled by 4 or 5 evil spirits. Lin Feng can only flee in panic. The moment he steps out of the villa, the evil spirits all vanish. Only clothes were left on the floor. His mind raced. He slowly stepped into the room with his left foot. The evil spirit appeared again. Sure enough, the evil spirit only appears when someone enters the villa. The evil spirit only appears when someone enters the villa. He understood the bug. Lin Feng chased him upstairs. He proactively attracted the evil spirit's attention, seizing the opportunity to retrieve Tong Tong. Then, without looking back, he jumped from the balcony. But what he didn't expect was that the floor gave way under his foot. He fell into the basement. Only then did Lin Feng realize that there had only ever been one evil spirit in the villa. The ghosts upstairs are all controlled by this giant evil spirit. As long as he kills this main body, he'll successfully gain the right to use the villa. However, he was too confident. Tong Tong is only D class, but this evil spirit has already reached C class. It easily sent her flying. Lin Feng rushed forward to help, but his foot was again caught in the evil spirit's trap, held fast, dragged towards its enormous body. He was about to be swallowed. Meanwhile, a figure burst into the villa, ready to save Lin Feng. But I saw an astonishing sight. Tong Tong's body suddenly emitted streams of firelight. His clothes turned blood red. He instantly crashed into the evil spirit's body. He and Lin Feng embraced tightly. With a loud bang after a violent explosion, the evil spirit was completely annihilated. Only the master and servant remained. The next second, Tong Tong transformed back into a bow because of excessive energy consumption. Seeing the crisis averted, the teacher also disappeared in a blue flame. Unbeknownst to Lin Feng, he had already been noticed by the Ghost Master Association's president. A ghost spirit with 2 forms is very likely a 1 in a million spiritual medium. This is an era where humans and ghosts coexist. People are proud to have a ghost as a pet. Some people like dogs. Lin Feng is much more normal. He keeps a little girl ghost as a pet. Of course, the protagonist is a perfect gentleman. He'll at most pat her head, like watching TV together every day, brushing teeth together every day, even sleeping together every day. It's all to improve my favorability. Given Tong Tong's excellent performance in accompanying me on tasks these days, Lin Feng decided to reward her with a shopping trip. What he didn't expect was that female ghosts and women are practically the same species. She wants to buy a whole bunch of snacks. The new clothes must be a complete set. Even the guns and ammo, the whole series must be bought together. Lin Feng completely gave up struggling. He just kept swiping his card wildly. By the time he got home, his wallet was completely empty. Treating a female ghost as a pet, he really couldn't afford it. Lin Feng was quite helpless. He had no choice but to take on a mission on the second day of school. Currently, human living areas are divided into 3 levels. They are the inner city, the first line of defense, and the fortress. Newcomers like Lin Feng. However, Tong Tong's combat ability is extraordinary. Lin Feng, of course, went straight for the C-class mission. The middle-aged man who gave him the commission was also full of doubt. A half-grown kid, taking on a C-class mission. But Lin Feng ignored him. After the handover, he went directly to the granary on the outer perimeter of the defense line. According to the guard, a mischievous spirit that steals food is hidden here. Several exorcists have come but haven't found it. Lin Feng gently touched the bow tie on his chest. Tong Tong was instantly summoned. Just as he was about to speak, Tong Tong suddenly turned around. The next second, he transformed into his battle form. Lin Feng thought the evil spirit was outside. Unexpectedly, Tong Tong suddenly pointed at the gatekeeper's money pouch. It instantly burst open. The gatekeeper, who hadn't reacted, was immediately possessed by an evil spirit. Luckily, Lin Feng was quick-witted and quick-handed, kicking him far away. The evil spirit turned to attack the other gatekeeper. Tong Tong, however, didn't give it a chance. With a blink, he grabbed the evil spirit by the neck. He reached into the gatekeeper's mouth with his other hand, and easily pulled the evil spirit out. But then, the unexpected happened. The evil spirit actually broke free. It lunged towards Lin Feng. By the time he came to his senses, the surroundings have fallen into complete darkness. I never expected this ordinary-looking evil spirit to have birthed a ghost domain. Lin Feng quickly dodged the tongue's attack, but he was careless and got bitten by a mouth on the ground. It seemed he was about to be swallowed. Suddenly, Tong Tong outside erupted with a surge of crimson energy. The ghost domain shattered instantly. Lin Feng was successfully rescued. He happily patted Tong Tong's head. Looks like the money wasn't wasted. When he returned to the commission office, the uncle looked utterly astonished. It's solved already. Just as he was about to question it, the inspectors arrived. Extermination confirmed. No more ghostly energy fluctuations detected in the warehouse. The older man didn't dare to be the slightest bit negligent. He quickly apologized. It was my poor eyesight. I'll transfer the contribution points to your account immediately. Lin Feng, back home, opened Tong Tong's attribute panel. Although I didn't level up, thankfully, I actually got that evil spirit's ghost domain. This is a very profitable deal. Speaking of which, if you own such a pretty, capable, and obedient lowly ghost girl, what would you all do? This boy has a lowly ghost girl as his pet. Not only does he not treat her well, he even takes her camping in the wilderness every day. After 3 days, the human and the ghost completed over a dozen tasks. He's completely treating the lowly ghost girl as a money-making tool. Lin Feng started to feel a bit guilty, so he decided to go home after finishing this task. This time, the target is a hanged ghost. He had just taken a few steps. He immediately noticed something was wrong. The body's hanging from the tree. Why are there several identical ones? Could it be a trap? But when he realized it, it was too late. A several-meter-long braid appeared out of nowhere. Instantly, a rope tightened around Lin Feng's neck. At the critical moment, Tong Tong reappeared and severed the rope. Seeing this, the hanged ghost dropped the pretense. It directly charged forward. The next second, Tong Tong transformed into battle mode. A jet of flame erupted. All the hanged ghosts turned to ashes. Mission accomplished. But just then, a classmate called. It turned out that he had been too ostentatious these days with the lowly ghost. He was targeted by several B-class ghost masters. Lin Feng saw this and smirked. Instead of returning to the city, he accepted several tasks in a row, because that ghost master wanted to locate him. The only way was to see what tasks he'd accepted on the task board. Sure enough, unsure of Lin Feng's exact location, the 3 ghost masters chose to split up, but Lin Feng had already been waiting in ambush at one of the locations. The ghost master who came here to wait for prey, still wondering how much a YY lowly ghost girl could sell for. But the next second, a blood-red claw reached for his neck. He immediately summoned a ghost to defend himself. 2 ghosts instantly entangled each other. Lin Feng seized the opportunity to launch a sneak attack, slashing the man's kidney. Seeing his master severely injured, Goe Ling immediately unleashed his ghost domain, regardless of the danger. Under the night sky, countless clawing black cats appeared. At his command, all the black cats attacked Lin Feng. At the critical moment, Tong Tong made hand seals, and a fiery red orb instantly swept out. Wait until the light sphere fully unfolds. The opponent's ghost domain has vanished. What appeared before us was a bizarre amusement park. It turned out this was Tong Tong's awakened ghost domain. The previously still toys all came to life, scattering the black cat. The man hurriedly commanded the ghost spirits to retreat, but it was too late. A giant clown appeared behind him. Before he could react, it was a single bite. The battle ended, the ghostly domain as well. But strangely, Lin Feng didn't return to his original location. Instead, he appeared on a gloomy forest path. Just as he was full of doubts, a distant dong-dong sound of a wooden fish suddenly came. Tong Tong uncontrollably rushed towards it. Lin Feng then saw clearly that it was actually a nunnery not far away. At this time, Tong Tong had already gone halfway inside. Lin Feng thought badly. Going in would definitely be no good. He quickly threw out a rope imbued with ghost energy, directly binding Tong Tong, successfully pulling her back. Simultaneously, the nunnery disappeared. Lin Feng immediately checked on Tong Tong's condition. It turned out that she was not only unharmed, but also brought back a trophy, a pair of red embroidered shoes. The system prompts. It can be used to summon a second ghost. Lin Feng hesitates to agree. Possessing a second ghost is an extremely rare occurrence, but he doesn't know that. Several kilometers away, a female ghost in a wedding dress is rapidly approaching. I'm giving you a bride, a female ghost, as a wife. Do you dare to accept her? The stubborn Lin Feng readily agreed. He immediately bound the ghost's token. Then, a message popped up. He also had to put the embroidered shoes, token, on the female ghost. Just as he was about to approach the haunted house, a figure suddenly descended from the sky. It turned out to be the chairman of the Ghost Conquering Coin Association. Lin Feng only then learned that the bride ghost was a merciless evil spirit. More than a dozen high-level ghost conquerors had been sucked dry by it. Now the chairman, with a group of experts, has been hunting her for days. The flower ghost spirit token is already bound. It's too late to regret it now. I can only grit my teeth and go in with the president. Everyone stepped into the haunted house. They saw an ancient tree growing in the courtyard. Countless red ribbons were tied to it, swaying in the wind. It gave off an eerie atmosphere. Seeing this, the president took out a paper crane and blew on it. We'll scout ahead first. But as soon as I took to the air, I instantly turned to ash. The chairman was startled. He immediately had everyone summon their spirits. But unexpectedly, after everyone struggled for a long time, they couldn't sense their own spirits at all. The president hurriedly ordered a retreat, but it was too late. With a sound, the gate closed automatically. It turned out that this entire haunted house was the ghostly domain of the bride ghost. Its characteristic is to block all spirits. Just then, a body suddenly crashed into the door. Everyone recognized that it was clearly the ghost hunter who had been taken away earlier. When Lin Feng turned back, the bride ghost had slowly floated out. Judging from the aura emanating from her, it was a B-class peak evil spirit. Just as everyone was at a loss, Lin Feng actually summoned his own ghost spirit. Even the president is shocked. Lin Feng is actually unaffected. Before everyone could recover, the ghost spirit, Tong Tong, clasped his hands together, and began to form hand seals. The next second, he unleashed his ghost domain. They enveloped the chairman and the others. Those freed from suppression immediately summoned their ghost spirits to attack. After a loud bang, several ghost spirits appeared. Although the wedding dress ghost's power is terrifying, the chairman's ghost spirits level has also reached the peak of B-class, plus several C-class ghost masters among his subordinates. The wedding dress ghost soon fell behind. Seeing the situation was dire, she threw out dozens of red ropes, attempting to escape, but they were all severed by the golden, feather-like blades. The heavily wounded bride ghost was momentarily paralyzed. Lin Feng saw his chance. He immediately ordered everyone to cease their attack. Without waiting for Chairman Jian Qing to explain, he held up the embroidered shoe, slowly walked towards the bride ghost. The president had no choice but to stop everyone. When the man and the ghost were less than a meter apart, the red thread automatically rolled the embroidered shoe over. The president was startled. Could it be that Lin Feng wants to treat her as the second ghost spirit? This bride ghost is an inherently evil spirit. One could easily suffer a backlash. Sure enough, the moment the female ghost put on the embroidered shoes, a purplish-red energy surged into the sky. The bride ghost instantly upgraded to an A-class evil spirit. Now even the president can't handle her. Just as everyone was preparing for a desperate fight, there was a sudden earthquake around them. When everyone came to their senses, they had already appeared in an open field. Only Lin Feng was left in the haunted house. At this time, the bride ghost was sitting in front of the dressing table. A tragically beautiful face was reflected in the mirror. Pay attention. A headless bride was sitting in front of the dressing table. Lin Feng's task was to comb her hair. As long as he combed it, the bride would marry him and become his wife. If I don't comb it well, my kidneys will be harvested. Luckily, the mirror shows the bride's appearance. Otherwise, he wouldn't know how to proceed. After combing a few times, Lin Feng suddenly found it had a texture. Even the head gradually emerged. Just when he thought the task would be completed so easily, a puff of pink smoke suddenly erupted from the mirror. When he opened his eyes again, what appeared before him was a real bride. He quickly looked at himself in the mirror, and he was also in ancient clothing. Could this be the memory of the bride ghost before her death? Before he could react, the surroundings changed again. Sitting before me is the brother of the bride ghost. He handed Lin Feng an invitation. It turns out the bride ghost was a high-ranking official's daughter. She was originally in love with the scholar Lin Feng was impersonating, but her father, for the sake of promotion, ignored his daughter's objections, and betrothed her to a general. This ordeal. This reminded Lin Feng of his own childhood. Because he lacked talent, he was abandoned by his parents by the roadside, so he decided to prevent this tragedy from happening. On the day of the female ghost's wedding, Lin Feng disguised himself as a porter carrying the wedding gifts, attempting to sneak into the backyard. But as he passed the general's carriage, a gentle breeze blew past. Inside sat an empty suit of armor. His face was filled with shock. Where did the person go? It turned out that the general had died in battle 3 days ago. The originally normal wedding has now become a ghost marriage. Isn't this just forcing the bride to be buried with him? Lin Feng, who had sneaked in, rushed to the backyard. He happened to meet the bride being led out. Seeing her beloved come to rescue her, the bride immediately burst into tears. She wanted to persuade him to leave, but at that moment, her father appeared, and grabbed her. They were about to have Lin Feng thrown out, but Lin Feng was determined to save her. He grabbed the bride and ran. He had already prepared a carriage at the back door. As long as he avoided the guards, he could escape. But what Lin Feng didn't expect was that after a few steps, the bride coughed up blood. With a thud, she fell to the ground. It turned out that the father, to prevent his daughter from escaping, had actually put poison in the soup she drank beforehand. Lin Feng angrily rushed to the man, wanting to force him to hand over the antidote. But at that moment, he was nothing more than a frail scholar. The next second, she was held down by 2 servants. The bride left her last words. She breathed her last. Lin Feng could only watch helplessly as she died before him. Then the man ordered the bride to be put into a coffin, and hold the wedding. In his eyes, children sacrificing themselves for the family was only natural. To prevent Lin Feng from spreading the news, and ruining the family's reputation, they ordered the servants to throw him into a dry well. But the moment the bride's coffin was carried out, the guests outside showed faces full of terror, because what they saw was a female ghost in a wedding dress standing on the coffin. They had never seen such cruel parents. To gain power and status, he actually married his own daughter off to a dead man. They brazenly presented her with a bowl of porridge, saying it was her last meal at her parents' home. But what his daughter didn't know was that the porridge had been poisoned, because only a dead person could be married to him. Soon, she vomited blood and collapsed. She unbelievably breathed her last breath. Then, a double happiness character was pasted on her. She was put into the coffin. But when the servants carried the coffin outside, All the guests' faces turned pale with fright, because a female ghost in wedding attire was standing on top of the coffin. It turned out that because she harbored so much resentment before her death, she had become an evil spirit. She raised both hands. Countless red threads shot out. The slaughter began. At this moment, Lin Feng was lying at the bottom of a dry well, barely alive. In his final moments, a frail figure suddenly crashed into his arms. It turned out Tong Tong had helped him escape the illusion. The bride ghost was slowly approaching. Tong Tong immediately became alert, preparing to attack. Lin Feng quickly stopped him. After experiencing the illusion, he knew the ghost was actually a pitiful person. Just as he spoke, the ghost had already reached the door. Ren Yi and the ghost quickly followed. At this time, the ghost domain also changed. Red lanterns were hung in the originally monotonous courtyard. When Lin Feng looked outside the door, he understood. It turned out that the wedding dress ghost's demon was this palanquin. As long as the demon remains, that scene in the illusion will continue to play out in the ghost domain. Lin Feng immediately rushed to the bride ghost with Tong Tong. He wanted to stop her from entering the palanquin. But just as they reached the entrance, a red curtain of light appeared. Could it be that no matter what method they used, they couldn't get through? Just then, a series of bell sounds suddenly came from inside the palanquin. The bride ghost, hearing the sounds, it flew over at high speed. Lin Feng recognized that it was clearly Luo Du's soul summoning bell. He ran to the bride ghost, trying to stop her, but unexpectedly, the ghost passed right through him. Now he was helpless. Was he just going to watch the ghost enter the palanquin? Just then, Lin Feng suddenly remembered something. According to the illusion's plot, the ghost's lover's bones should still be in the dry well, so he jumped right down. Sure enough, he found the scholar's skeleton below. The deceased was still clutching a love token. Lin Feng immediately took the love token and returned to the dressing table. Unsurprisingly, the two combs are together. A love token, united as one. With a hum, ripples spread out. In a flash, they enveloped the entire ghost domain. At this time, the bride ghost also stopped. Lin Feng quickly came before her. He wanted to use the combs to awaken the ghost's memories. Under the stimulation of the love token, the female ghost revealed her true form. She held a comb and wept. But before Lin Feng could breathe a sigh of relief, the bride ghost suddenly turned around and dashed towards the palanquin. The indestructible barrier at the entrance was shattered by her impact. Countless red threads flew out from the bride ghost's sleeves. In an instant, the palanquin at the entrance was shattered into pieces. But the next second, something strange happened. The palanquin was miraculously restored, completely undamaged. Notice this. This was originally an ordinary palanquin. Just as the bride was about to approach, a face suddenly appeared, with 4 sharp claws. Without Lin Feng's order, Tong Tong ripped off one of the monster's legs with a single claw. But what he didn't expect was, the next second, the severed leg automatically grew back. The attacked monster went berserk. The man and the ghost were about to be overwhelmed. Lin Feng suddenly thought of something. He immediately pulled out a Molotov cocktail and threw it into the sedan chair. The next moment, the sedan chair was engulfed in flames. Sure enough, even the sedan chairs in the ghost realm are made of paper. The fire quickly died down. The monster was no longer breathing. Just as Lin Feng breathed a sigh of relief, the dilapidated sedan chair suddenly cracked open. With a bang, a sedan chair made of paper appeared before him. Seeing the danger, Lin Feng wanted to call the bride ghost and run together, but it was too late. The monster's claws were already within arm's reach. Just at the moment of crisis, the bride ghost suddenly raised her hand and summoned a ball of dark green flame, pale green flame. At the instant the claws descended, she threw it. There was a loud bang, and the flames exploded. The monster's claws instantly turned to ashes. Lin Feng seized the opportunity. He immediately had Tong Tong come forward to help. Tong Tong understood perfectly. In an instant, she shot out several red ribbons. They entangled the monster's hands and feet. Taking the opportunity, the bride ghost flew above. Countless threads were flung out. Immediately afterwards, green flames followed the threads. It quickly spread to the monster. This time, it's finally reduced to ashes. I've helped the bride ghost overcome her inner demons. My favorability rating should be at its highest now. Lin Feng casually lifted her veil. She didn't resist. Now is the best time to sign the contract. Lin Feng immediately bit his finger. But then I suddenly realized. This ghost domain doesn't even have a bowl. Just as he was worrying, the bride ghost unexpectedly sucked on his finger. Feeling the touch on his fingertip, Lin Feng was startled. Could she be mistaking me for her husband? Soon, the contract was successfully signed. Lin Feng happily received a bride ghost. Just as he was about to sit down and study this new ghost's abilities, he suddenly heard the sound of horses' hooves outside. Could there be other evil spirits? Lin Feng got up to go and see, but the bride ghost suddenly grabbed him. Before Lin Feng could react, my vision started to blur. The next moment, the ghost domain disappeared. And the place I appeared in wasn't the mountaintop where I entered the ghost domain. It must have been the bride ghost using a blink skill. Could the horse's hooves I heard just now have been her enemy? By this time, it was getting dark. Lin Feng had to put aside his curiosity. He hurried towards the city. Wait for him to return to the Onmyoji Association. The president's face was full of shock. Could it be that you have already subdued the wedding dress ghost? That's an A-class evil spirit. You should know that even the president is only a B-class Onmyoji. To awaken as an A-class Onmyoji, he's a genius among geniuses, anywhere you put him. The president immediately set his sights on Lin Feng. I'll shamelessly say, you've accepted a bride ghost. I put in a lot of effort. How are you going to repay me? She deliberately stretched, showing off her alluring figure. Even a righteous gentleman like Lin Feng found it hard to resist. He could only let her name her price. The president saw through his scheme. He immediately proposed that he join the Ghost Master Alliance. However, there's a strict condition for joining the alliance. That is, to undergo a level certification. But for Lin Feng, it couldn't be simpler. Just as he was preparing to rest, and conserve his energy for the next day's level certification, the bride ghost suddenly appeared beside him. The boy had just lain down to sleep. When he felt a chill down his spine, he turned around, and saw the bride ghost timidly standing beside him. Before he could react, the ghost automatically got into bed with him. Lin Feng was also very troubled. Who made him so handsy? He lifted her veil. Now the female ghost actually considers him her husband, and they have to sleep together. Lin Feng was so nervous he broke out in a cold sweat. When he woke up the next day, he'd lost half his weight. The female ghost was as if nothing had happened. He handed over the clean clothes with a smile, without waiting for Lin Feng to do it himself. She was about to change his clothes. Lin Feng, however, was a true gentleman, and immediately escaped. I can't let anything go wrong. The first test was on ghost knowledge, eliminating a third of the people directly. But for Lin Feng, a top student, it was a piece of cake. Soon, the second exam began. A D-class evil spirit released its oppressive aura. Half the students couldn't hold on. This was only the first stage of the second exam. Following that was the oppressive aura of a C-class evil spirit. Those who had been struggling fell to the ground one after another. Finally, a Class B malevolent spirit appears. A very rare ghost that coexists with humans. In this examination with thousands of participants, less than 10 people remain after only the second round. Most of the 9 are students who have studied on Myoto for many years. Lin Feng is the only freshman, instantly attracting everyone's attention. After the Onmyoji exam, finally, it's the ghost spirit level test. A fat man summoned his ghost spirit. The crystal ball immediately showed a level F, eliminated. Only those who reach level D or above in the academy are eligible for level certification. It wasn't long before it was Lin Chu's turn. He now possesses 2 ghost spirits. Tong Tong is at peak B level. Xianhua, the bride in wedding attire, even reached a terrifying A level. The test was merely a formality for him, but he didn't want to attract too much attention. So he only summoned Tong Tong. But what he didn't expect was, the moment he touched the crystal ball, a dazzling light illuminated the entire hall. A large B appeared above everyone's heads, instantly shocking everyone at the table. This is unprecedented. You must know that the president of the Ghost Master Association is only at the peak of B rank. Suddenly, a dark shadow attacked from behind, stabbing Lin Feng in the waist. Tong Tong, unable to react in time, was also bound by talismans. Just as Lin Feng was filled with confusion, the ambushing fat man ripped off his mask. It was the man who tried to steal Tong Tong's high-grade ghost-subduing lantern a few days ago, but he was clearly already dead. The next moment, a green tentacle grew out of the man's body. He had already merged with an evil spirit. The exorcism teacher immediately took action to save Lin Feng. A horrifying combination of spirit and human, far stronger than any Onmyoji of the same level. 3 teachers instantly lost their fighting ability. This male protagonist won the competition. Just as he was about to show off, the next second, he had his kidneys removed. The teachers on the scene rushed to his aid. Unexpectedly, the man who launched the sneak attack was too strong. With one move, he rendered them combat ineffective. Immediately afterward, he turned to look at Lin Feng, who lay on the ground unable to move. He well knew that villains die from talking too much. He directly commanded the tentacle to deliver a fatal blow. Seeing the imminent danger, Lin Feng hurriedly pulled out the ghost spirit artifact from his bosom. With a whooshing sound, countless red threads tightly bound the man. Before he could react, the threads instantly tightened. The next second, with a bang, the man was dead. Only then did everyone realize that there was an additional red figure in the sky. That's right, it's Lin Feng's second ghost spirit, Xianhua, the bride ghost. Those who recognized her were instantly terrified. This is a malevolent spirit that wreaked havoc in the region. Just as everyone was terrified, Xianhua swooped down. But what they never expected was that she landed directly beside Lin Feng. The entire hall fell instantly silent. Only the host timidly asked a question. Is this your second ghost spirit? Lin Feng saw he couldn't hide it anymore. He could only admit it helplessly. The entire hall immediately erupted. You must know that there isn't a single A-class ghost master in all of Lucheng. Lin Feng guessed that after becoming famous, he definitely couldn't live a normal life, but what he didn't expect was, 7 days had passed since the rank certification. Thousands of people were still surrounding his house. They wanted a glimpse of him. It caused him to go 7 days and 7 nights without sleep, because of becoming an A-rank ghost master, a tribute. But I was completely stuck with nowhere to spend it. Just as Lin Feng was at his wit's end, the president of the Ghost Master Association came to his door, telling him he could go to Haicheng next door to lay low for a while. She happened to be going on a business trip, and would take Lin Feng along to see the world. It's also the most prosperous city in the entire East. It's only a couple 100 kilometers away. Lin Feng thought a half-day's drive would get him there, but halfway there, the chairman had everyone get out of the car. What appeared before them was a 100-meter-long giant submarine. It turned out that between cities were large uninhabited areas. The malevolent spirits there, their strength is basically above B-level, so the sea route is much safer. As long as we coat the submarine's surface with gold paint, we can shield against most of the water ghost sensing abilities. Night quickly arrived. Waiting for the submarine to reach the port, Lin Feng, who hadn't rested properly for days, had unconsciously fallen asleep leaning against the guild leader. The president doesn't mind, but we should get off the ship. I'll have to wake Lin Feng up. This is Lin Feng's first time in such a bustling city. He looked around curiously as soon as he got off the ship. Once they arrived at the association's headquarters, he inquired about the auction. He obtained several B-class benevolent spirits. Want to exchange something? The president was instantly stunned. Ownerless benevolent spirit. This is a priceless treasure. But before she could recover, Lin Feng directly stated, such benevolent spirits. He himself has 5 of them. The president was stunned. His jaw nearly dropped. After the shock, President Yun said to Lin Feng, get some rest. I'll contact the auction house for you tomorrow. After a long time, Lin Feng finally enjoyed a peaceful night again. Soaking in the bathtub, he felt incredibly comfortable. He looked at his ID card. There are indeed many high-level missions here in Haicheng, and there are special missions with guild permissions. With this, Xianhua and Tongtong will be able to level up quickly. Speaking of Xianhua, Xuanhua's here. Still in her fiery red wedding dress, she heads straight for Lin Feng. Lin Feng shyly turns around, but Xianhua doesn't seem to mind at all. He went straight into the bathtub, half-heartedly, half-willingly. Lin Feng experienced for the first time the feeling of a goddess bathing him. It was inevitably a little awkward. Xianhua, however, enjoyed it. After leaving the bathroom, the blush on Lin Feng's face still hadn't subsided. System prompt, bathing with Xianhua. Reward EXP plus 50, bond plus 5. I happened to run into CEO Yun making coffee. She looked puzzled. What's with Lin Feng's inexplicably flushed face? Although it's an unfamiliar environment, Xuanhua's habit of clinging to Lin Feng hasn't changed one bit. Lin Feng fell asleep. She followed him to bed. But Lin Feng genuinely felt that, being able to see such stunning beauty so close when he opened his eyes, was quite nice. Overwhelmed by the moment, Lin Feng kissed Xianhua on the forehead. Ding! You kissed Xianhua. Experience plus 10, bond plus 1. Just as Lin Feng kissed Xianhua and fell asleep, near the Haicheng border defense, in a dilapidated hut, a fierce battle was taking place. A small team of Haicheng ghost hunters had finally managed to eliminate a troublesome Class B evil spirit. Before they could rest, the sound of galloping hooves reached their ears. Horse. Something's wrong. They reacted very quickly. This is definitely not human. Several people tacitly superimposed their ghost domains. 4 people superimposed a total of 5 layers of ghost domains. It shows how strong they are. After all, in Lucheng, even onmyoji who possess ghost domains are few and far between. Soon, the figure of a person riding a steed came galloping from the thick fog. Upon closer inspection, it was an exceptionally magnificent warhorse. On its back was the S-class ghost. The headless general, an experienced ghost master, could tell at a glance how formidable the headless general was. Its level surpassed all the ghost masters present. However, the superposition of the 5 ghost realms still filled them with confidence. Unexpectedly, the headless general, driving his ghost horses, charged straight at them. The superposition of the 5 ghost realms shattered in an instant. They couldn't stop it in the slightest. Having lost the protection of the ghost realms, these onmyoji were merely lambs to the slaughter. Faced with the headless general's blade, they could not avoid it. In the end, the headless general rode away triumphantly, leaving only burning hoofprints on the ground. When Lin Feng woke up, it was already afternoon. He hadn't slept so soundly in a long time before. It seemed to have been waiting for Lin Feng to wake up. It had been there for a long time. This scene startled Lin Feng quite a bit, but this is clearly a privilege that others would kill for. President Yen smiled wryly, saying to Lin Feng, seeing you sleep so soundly, I didn't wake you for this morning's auction. Your Xianhua is already making breakfast for the 5th time. Leaving the bedroom, Lin Feng looked at the delicious breakfast. For a moment he couldn't believe it. This was also his first time knowing that Xianhua could cook so well. Tasting Xuanhua's culinary creations, Yan couldn't help but exclaim, women of that era were truly virtuous. It's so delicious. Xianhua looked at Lin Feng with affection. As long as Lin Feng enjoyed his meal, she was happy too. Situation. Those ghost spirits were sold for a total of 20 million. Hearing the news, Lin Feng spat out the water he had just drunk. His balance jumped from 210,000 to 20.21 million. This sudden wealth caught him completely off guard. But then, President Yan's tone shifted. Deducting the auction's 10% service fee, 6% tax, and my 20% agency fee, a total of 12.8 million will be transferred to you. After saying this, she playfully made a V sign. Lin Feng sighed helplessly, thinking how shrewd she is. No wonder you're the president. He could only continue eating in silence. President Yan, however, got up and prepared to go out. Because 2 ghost hunter slaying incidents occurred yesterday. Among the deceased was a veteran A-class hunter. It's very strange. Coincidentally, Vice President Shua of the Haicheng Ghost Hunter Association arrived. He said to President Yan, "This matter doesn't require your concern." President Yan felt slightly displeased. "I'm not here on vacation." "What do you mean?" President Shua retorted. "You don't even have a shred of information about that ghost. How are we supposed to handle this?" Then he showed Lin Feng and the other person the information he had obtained. This is the video recording left by the ghost hunter who was ambushed last night. It starts with a blurry figure and the sound of galloping hooves. Lin Feng immediately thought, could this be the ghost that pursued Xianhua to the ghost domain? President Chua paused on a clear frame. The content of the image caused Lin Feng's pupils to constrict, because it was precisely the fellow who wanted to forcibly marry Xianhua. Upon its arrival, it slaughtered 2 teams of Onmyoji. President Chua has already collected relevant clues, referred to as the Headless General, and she intentionally trained her 2 daughters' tracking skills. President Yun had planned to investigate personally. After all, she came to Haicheng to further her studies. She needed this kind of experience. But President Chua had already done most of the preliminary work, so she had no choice but to hand over the task. Lin Feng was thinking at this moment about this headless general's attire. He's exactly the same as the general who married Xianhua. He really is the evil spirit behind the ghost sedan, and he's come for Xianhua. Ding! The system has issued a new task. Terminate Xuanhua's engagement. Find Yinghua's marriage contract and destroy it. This will complete the task. Task reward, experience plus 1000. Dominating the line plus 10. Lin Feng suddenly understood. That's right, that headless general can track Xianhua, and Xianhua is in the ghost realm. Forced to activate marriage mode. She's most likely under some kind of restriction. Now it seems, it's this marriage certificate. Lin Feng acted without hesitation, taking Tong Tong and Xianhua. They ran to Xuanhua's ghost realm to search for the marriage certificate. The ghost realm was vast, the 3 of them expended considerable effort. Before finally finding Xuanhua's marriage certificate, the writing on it resembled demonic scribbles. Lin Feng thought to himself, perhaps this is what they call demonic script. But the mission was simply to destroy it. Lin Feng began to tear the marriage certificate with his bare hands. Who would have thought that the next moment, the torn marriage certificate would spontaneously restore itself? Lin Feng could only hand it over to Xianhua, to burn it with her ghost fire. Ding! System notification. Task completed 50%. Lin Feng thought for a moment and understood. The situation with the headless general. There's probably another marriage contract. Looks like I have no choice but to kill him. Xianhua can finally achieve true freedom. If so, leveling up by slaying monsters should be done sooner rather than later. Lin Feng immediately accepted an A-rank mission. Before confronting the headless general directly, he needs to quickly level up Tong Tong and Xianhua. Meanwhile, north of Haicheng, President Chua ordered a new lockdown of the scene. He looked at the bodies of the elite Onmyoji squad on the ground. His expression involuntarily turned grave. His twin daughters, Shuoling and Shuiyu, analyzed that. It should have happened about half an hour ago. The severed head's cut was consistent with the previous ones, although the rain obscured the perpetrator's tracks. It's possible to trace them through the residual demonic energy. We've tracked its hoofprints. Hearing this, Chairman Zhuo was overjoyed. He immediately waved his hand. Excellent. Let's give chase. An hour later, Chairman Zhuo's motorcade arrived at a remote mountain. Shuiyu suddenly spoke. Stop the car. The ghostly aura is getting stronger. It should be in the mountains ahead. After we get out, Chairman Zhuo orders everyone to turn off their headlights. We need to adapt to the moonlight, to be able to fight under the cover of night. Based on the current situation, Chairman Zhuo has decided to adopt Plan 3. 5 squads will spread out and encircle them. No need to rush, just set the trap. Wait for the right moment. Before the ghost butterfly flew far, the sound of galloping hooves came. Hearing the hoofbeats, Sua, the guild leader, smiled triumphantly. It seemed everything was predetermined. his primary objective for this operation. It's the headless general's mount, the ghost horse. For this, he specially prepared this large gold chain. Ghost butterflies of a color scattered and flew, searching for the headless general's tracks. The sound of galloping hooves approached. With a thump, a hoof crushed a ghost butterfly. The ghost butterfly's owner, Zhuoling, somewhat uneasily said to her sister, "I have a bad feeling about this." Zhuoling said with a smile, "Don't be afraid, father brought 30 people this time." Adding himself, "That's a full 3A rankers. Don't panic." Soon, the headless general burst into the ghost conjuring squad's encirclement. It was hard to tell if he'd wandered in unintentionally, or deliberately crashed the party. President Chua immediately ordered, "All squads, seal it with the hidden ghost domains." The squad leaders who received the order responded in unison. Buzz, buzz. 5 ghost domains of different colors appeared out of thin air, to everyone's surprise. The headless general showed no intention of stopping. He continued to gallop. President Chua immediately ordered, "Prepare the first squad for battle." But no one could have imagined that their ghost domain would be as fragile as paper against the headless general. It was shattered by the ghost horse directly. President Chua also realized that the headless general's abilities are very special. Those squads are definitely no match for him. He immediately prepared to strike together with the other 2A rankers. But what happened next still shocked even the well-prepared President Chua. The 7-person B-class team was instantly wiped out. Even the ghost spirits disappeared. Fearing the headless general's escape, President Chua summoned his trump card, Ghost Spirit Quan Wu, unleashing his ghost domain to envelop the headless general. Simultaneously, he said to the other two, "Wei Ming, Ade, extend your ghost realms to cover it as well." Under the superposition of 3 Class A ghost realms, the headless general's steps finally stopped. Seeing this, Chairman Chua smiled triumphantly. No head means no head. Just wait to be slowly toyed with. In order to not harm Gui Ma in the process, the headless general was in a tough spot. Chairman Chua immediately sent 3 A-class ghosts to attack together. Seeing this, the headless general didn't back down at all. He spurred his horse, brandished his sword, and charged. Even facing the siege of 3 ghosts, he was at ease. With a casual swing of his sword, he wounded one of the 8 armed ghosts. Wei Ming watched his 8 armed ghost spirit get injured. Feeling heartbroken, Ade also advised Chairman Chua, suggesting they seek reinforcements. But it was too late. The headless general's sword sliced Ade's ghost spirit in 2. Simultaneously, he flung his cloak, and a ghost spirit materialized out of thin air, biting Quan Wu. The headless general seized the opportunity and delivered a swift, decisive blow. He severely injured 7 of the Golden Crows. President Chua and the others finally reacted. These apparitions that appeared out of nowhere belonged to the first squad. They had already been subdued by the headless general. Next, the headless general unleashed all the apparitions he had subdued. Simultaneously, they collectively unleashed their ghost realms from within. President Chua was struck like lightning. He knew the operation had completely failed. The superimposed ghost realm was calculated to achieve stability. Opening so many ghost realms internally at the same time was simply unsustainable. Sure enough, their superimposed ghost realm collapsed. President Chua turned and ran. Wei Ming and Ade followed closely behind. But the other Onmyoji are in trouble. The headless general, having broken through the ghost domain, is like a wolf among sheep. He's slaughtering the association's Onmyoji. They wanted to drive away, but it was too late. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu are still worried that the others haven't caught up. President Chua had no intention of waiting for them. He called the 2 sisters and left. Wei Ming and Ade were only a moment late, but they were already caught up by the headless general. With a loud thud, the car achieved its maiden flight, faster than Chairman Chua's speeding truck. Then it crashed onto the truck's front. The impact smashed the truck's engine, and the whole truck lost control. I rushed forward. I crashed into a thick tree and stopped. But the car had already stalled. Fortunately, Chairman Chua was prepared. The truck's body was painted gold. As long as we hide inside, we should be fine. We had just hidden inside, when Chairman Chua reminded us, "Don't speak, or we'll be discovered." But Chua Ling still drove back, because there was a crack in the carriage. Their scent wasn't completely sealed off. The headless general could sense it. Although Chua Ling's heart pounded wildly, she still bravely went forward to check. She looked out through the crack. Chua Ling's eyes met Goema's, which shone with eerie green flames. Chua Ling's heart pounded uncontrollably. It's over. They've been discovered. What she didn't expect was the headless general turning and leaving, as if he hadn't seen them. Chua Ling didn't know that it was because of Xuanhua's timely appearance. This attracted the attention of the headless general. After all, he chased all the way from Lucheng to Haicheng. It was all for Xianhua. The two stood there facing each other without a word. Lin Feng took this opportunity to check. It turned out that Chairman Chua and 2 others were in the carriage. They hadn't expected Lin Feng to appear here either. After a moment, the headless general spoke for the first time. He called out Xuanhua's name, but Xianhua didn't respond. Her figure gradually became translucent. After Lin Feng confirmed the situation in the car, he gestured to Xianhua. Xianhua immediately used a flash technique. She enveloped the entire truck with her ghost domain. Then, he used flash movement again, vanishing along with several others. When they reappeared, they were already at border post number 13 in Qihai City. Lin Feng and Zhuyu were taking care of the injured Zhuo Huizhang and Zhuoling. Chairman Zhuo felt immense regret. He sighed softly, having finally bought a second ghost spirit. Now he only had one left. Lin Feng, having bandaged Zhuoling's wounds, was about to leave, but he saw Chairman Zhuo weeping uncontrollably. She sobbed, clutching Lin Feng's hand. Please, I beg you, ask Chairman Yan to help. I will handsomely reward you. Originally, Lin Feng hadn't planned to deal with the headless general, but 3 hours before this, he happened to be on a mission in the ghost cave. With Tong Tong and Xuanhua's cooperation, level B evil spirits were easily dealt with. Lin Feng unexpectedly obtained a fragment of the ghost domain. It can be used to strengthen the ghost domain. This was the first time he knew such a thing existed. As he fought his way through, he also obtained a very useful ghostly item, the ghost robe. Although it's a bit ugly, it can hide my aura when worn, making me invisible. There's also an 80% chance that ghosts will mistake me for one of them. This wasn't enough to satisfy Lin Feng. He continued deeper with Tong Tong and Xianhua, because the main target of the mission was still below. They were like grinding monsters in a game, efficiently. We went deeper into the cave. Along the way, we even played cave treasure hunting. We got quite a few good things. After much traveling, we finally reached the 7th cave's bottom level. With Tong Tong's amazing power, we defeated a ghost spirit. Lin Feng once again obtained a ghost domain fragment, but the color is different from before. This time it's blue, and there are 2 large clumps of ghost water plants guarded by ghost spirits. Lin Feng thought, could this be used to feed the ghost spirits? To make Tong Tong and Xianhua eat grass? Forget it, forget it. After so many battles, the system prompt for settlement has arrived. Should I use the Siling pill to help Tong Tong level up? Lin Feng chose yes without hesitation. Tong Tong successfully leveled up. Lin Feng also gained a 3-fold physical enhancement, and Tong Tong awakened a new ghost technique. Mutation. It can be used in battle. It lasts for about 100 seconds. This appearance looks very powerful. Along the way, Lin Feng's gains were substantial. He couldn't help but exclaim, the association's internal information is really useful. Xianhua is almost about to be promoted to S rank 7. After a short rest, Lin Feng didn't choose to return the way he came, but instead exited the ghost cave through another passage. Coincidentally, I happened to run into Chairman Zhuo's encirclement of the headless general. Instead, I witnessed the headless general pursuing Sha. I saw their car break down, and then they were discovered by the headless general. Only then did Lin Feng have Xianhua rescue them. Lin Feng briefly explained his situation to Chairman Zhuo, explaining why he was there. After Lin Feng finished speaking, President Yan also arrived. President Zhuo immediately requested President Yan's help. You are a spirit medium. You must be able to help with this headless general case. Please help me. Otherwise, where would I put my face? President Yan was quite interested in this matter. However, her S-class spirit is still undergoing metamorphosis. Strength can't guarantee it. Her gaze held a questioning look. She looked at Lin Feng. What do you think? President Zhuo directly offered 5 million, hoping Lin Feng would take the job. But Lin Feng had just received 10 million. Why would he care about such a small amount? Chairman Zhuo still didn't relent. So, what do you want? A house, gold, or an official position? At this moment, Zhuyu quietly leaned towards her father's ear. With a flushed face, she whispered softly, Dad, I can also be offered. Chairman Zhuo immediately flew into a rage. He said, under no circumstances could anyone touch his daughter. This is his most precious possession. Lin Feng cleared his throat. He said, I agree, but I have 3 conditions. First, tell me everything you know about the headless general. Second, you will follow my commands completely. Third, all the spoils of war belong to me. The first 2 are acceptable. The first 2 are alright. The headless general's ghost horse and ghost sword are extraordinary items. Lin Feng guessed Chairman Zhuo's intentions. He probably failed before because he wanted to capture the ghost horse alive. This led to his failure. Then Lin Feng continued. I heard that Chairman Zhuo lost a ghost spirit. I happen to have an unclaimed A-class benevolent spirit here. How about I sell it to you? President Zhuo hesitated. Because ownerless class of benevolent spirits are invaluable, and she just lost a ghost spirit. She needs to replenish her fighting strength. President Zhuo's silence let Lin Feng know that this deal could be made, but he needed to sweeten the pot. He pushed the ghost spirit token forward and said, agree to my conditions. I'll give you 10 million for this ghost. I'll also help you deal with the headless general, saving your face. I'll give you 30 seconds to consider. This is the first time Chairman Zhuo has ever been manipulated by someone, and the other party is just a young punk. The 2 sisters also thought. Father had never been so humiliated. How would he choose? Lin Feng didn't care about their thoughts. He continued his countdown. In the last 5 seconds, President Zhuo still chose Anxi. Oh well, the young are formidable. After the successful negotiation, Xianhua gently dries Lin Feng's hair after his bath. Lin Feng begins to contemplate his strategy against the Headless General. The Headless General has never deployed a ghost domain. He relies entirely on his warhorse's reckless charges. The ability to shatter ghost domains should originate from the ghost horse. Overlapping ghost domains aren't stable enough. It seems a sufficiently strong, singular ghost domain is necessary. Thinking this, Lin Feng turns to Xianhua. Let her unfold the ghost domain. After obtaining the ghost domain fragments, Lin Feng will be able to see more clues inside the ghost domain. Xuanhua's ghost domain is a double ghost domain, the first layer. Level 2, possessing 14 ghost domain fragments. The ghost domain isn't very large. The edge of the ghost domain is basically the outside of the house. Beyond that is just nothingness. To target the Headless General, Lin Feng chose to enhance Xuanhua's ghost domain to its maximum. On the fragment selection interface, Lin Feng then learned that different colored ghost domain fragments could expand the ghost domain into different terrains. For the first enhancement fragment, Lin Feng chose the forest fragment. After selecting the fragment, you also need to choose its expanded form. Lin Feng immediately chose the peach blossom forest. Soon, the boundary of the ghost domain began to expand. Peach trees sprang up from the ground one after another, growing rapidly. In a short while, a beautiful peach blossom forest appeared in Xuanhua's ghost domain. Seeing the extraordinary effect of the ghost domain fragment, Lin Feng continued to use it, adding grasslands to Xuanhua's ghost domain, moldy mountains, waterfalls, lakes, etc., expanding its range by more than 10 times. Sitting on the wooden bridge, Lin Feng turned his head and asked Xianhua, "Do you like it?" Xianhua nodded without speaking. Lin Feng could tell. She really liked it. Next was the final step. Lin Feng took out the ghost water grass. After sprinkling it into the lake, the ghost water grass automatically took root and grew wildly. Having done all this, Lin Feng asked Xianhua to try if she could control the ghost water grass. Xianhua elegantly picked up the ghost water grass, which then shot out of the water. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng smiled. "Headless General," he said, "you can't escape." Astonishing. The Headless General appeared in Haicheng's S-Class Vice President's team was completely wiped out. President Shua's strength is questioned. They were all high-level spirits bought with money. It's only been a day since President Shua's defeat. The news spread throughout the streets and alleys. This not only caused panic among ordinary people, but even the Onmyoji couldn't sit still. In the past, hundreds of Onmyoji would die each year, but that was on the outer defense line. Now, this evil spirit, having lost so many high-level combatants, still hasn't been dealt with. President Shua didn't pay attention to that news. He didn't have time to, because he had already embarked on his journey to hunt down the Headless General. He was still thinking about letting Lin Feng and the others witness his true strength. "I didn't expect my own daughter to undermine me. Dad, don't try to be a hero." Lin Feng was at this level at such a young age. "You should focus on protecting yourself." Chairwoman Yen is in the car behind. She's briefing Lin Feng on our situation. "We have 3 teams, 15 people in total. All elite." Lin Feng seemed a little absent-minded. He didn't even glance at President Yen. President Yen spoke immediately. "You wouldn't have taken a liking to those twins, would you?" "Sure enough, men are like that. They eat from their own bowl but the one next door." Hearing this, Lin Feng quickly explained. No, I was mentally rehearsing tactics." Seeing Lin Feng busy, she didn't bother explaining. Chairwoman Yan's expression softened. She said to Lin Feng, "I know you've planned everything out, but be careful when confronting someone of higher rank. After all, if you get injured, your sister will be heartbroken." Then she threw herself at Lin Feng. Xiaoyun shyly adjusted her glasses in front. Finally, the group arrived at the latest scene. The scene's condition made Chairman Yen couldn't help but exclaim, "It's truly too tragic." Xiaoyun directly summoned the ghostly phoenix feather to track the Headless General's trail. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu also each displayed their unique abilities. "I hope we can track down the Headless General as soon as possible." Fengyu flew in a circle. Following the scent, she found it on President Shua. It turned out she had made a discovery, and President Shua had a clue. She showed the feather she found. She sensed the same aura on President Shua. President Shua immediately realized it. This is from his Golden Crow ghosts. Now the Golden Crow ghost has been taken by the Headless General. Fengyu understood. She chased after the Golden Crow ghost's aura. Xiaoyun told everyone to quickly follow. Fengyu should have found the direction. Until nightfall, under Fengyu's guidance, everyone finally arrived at a certain place. "Many bodies lie here." Zhuoling quickly dispatched Ghost Butterfly to investigate MW. "These people are all victims of the Headless General Sha, and they died recently. The Headless General shouldn't have gone far." Guided by her doll ghost spirit, Zhuoyu immediately discovered a rapidly moving dark spot in the distance. Others might not be able to see clearly, but Lin Feng has undergone triple body enhancement. From his perspective, that black spot is clearly the Headless General, rapidly rushing towards the grain town. President Yen heard this and said, No good, there are many people over there. We can't let it get through. Should we chase them? Lin Feng said calmly. No need, I have a way. Let's settle this here, he said, pulling out a wooden comb from his bosom. Xianhua released the ghost energy. Lin Feng softly said to the comb. With a sound, Xianhua appeared. He exuded a powerful demonic aura the moment he appeared. Under such an intense aura, the people on the ground felt how insignificant they were. Also sensing Xianhua's demonic aura was the headless general. Charging rapidly, it instantly changed direction. Seeing this, President Yun immediately ordered everyone to summon their spirit familiars. Because once Xianhua unfolds the ghost realm, it will sever their connection with the spirits. Although many people came, Lin Feng only brought Yan Huizhang and Xiaoyun. Frankly, the others would probably just be a hindrance. It's better for them to stay on the periphery. Just as the headless general was about to approach, Xianhua, under Lin Feng's command, unfolded the ghost realm. Its scale directly encompasses the entire mountain. President Yun and Xiaoyun, pulled into the ghost domain, exclaimed in admiration. This ghost domain is truly breathtaking. Lin Feng secretly felt pleased with himself. Xuanhua's ghost domain originally had the characteristic of suppressing other ghostly spirits. After strengthening, it's not an exaggeration to call it an S-class ghost domain. Da-da-da, as the sound of horse hooves drew closer. Lin Feng immediately summoned Tong Tong in his evil spirit mode. Let her use ghost concealment. All friendly units and spirits were hidden. Lin Feng still didn't intend to make a move. He wanted to observe the headless general's behavioral patterns. To confirm his own guesses, the hidden group watched. The headless general arrived at the gate without slowing down. He smashed the gate to pieces. It barged in. The game wasn't over yet. Even walls couldn't stop its advance in the slightest. It made its way into the courtyard, but it finally paused, searching for Xuanhua's traces. After observing for so long, President Yan discovered a key clue. Why doesn't this guy dismount when searching for someone? This also confirms Lin Feng's guess. If this guy dismounted, his strength would be greatly reduced. After searching for a while, he couldn't find Xuanhua's shadow. The headless general then released all the ghosts it had subdued. It was going to search the entire ghost realm. It didn't expect Xuanhua's ghost realm to have expanded so much. But this is exactly what Lin Feng wanted. Even the people on the outer perimeter are now useful. He told Chairman Zhuo to inform all the teams to defeat these little ghosts one by one. Zhuoyu exclaimed in amazement beside him. This ghost domain is incredibly powerful. It can contain so many ghost spirits and still remain stable. After arranging all this, Lin Feng walked out. It's time, Xianhua, go. Hearing Lin Feng's instructions, Xianhua shot out like an arrow. The headless general was too sensitive to Xuanhua's presence. As soon as she appeared, it detected her aura. With the previous experience, this time, it charged at her the moment it saw her. Xianhua, floating calmly on the lake's surface, waiting quietly there. What is her reason? Lin Feng keenly noticed that the ghostly horse running on the water was even faster. Could it be afraid that Xianhua would run away? As for running away, how is that possible? After such meticulous planning, isn't it all for waiting for the headless general? But the headless general ran for a while. Lin Feng noticed something was wrong. The ghost water grass didn't react at all. What surprised Lin Feng even more was, Xianhua slowly floated over. She showed no intention of using any ghost techniques. With a graceful gesture of her hand, peach blossoms danced in the air. Under this enchanting atmosphere, I quietly watched the headless general. President Yan was shocked. What on earth is going on? Could it be that Lin Feng's ghost spirit has gone out of control? But the next moment, the ghost water grass shot out from the water, wrapping the ghost horse tightly. Unable to move an inch, Lin Feng figured it out. Xianhua planned to use herself as bait, to lure the headless general to slow down. The headless general had a betrothal with her, so he naturally wouldn't directly harm her. The headless general swung his sword, trying to break free from the ghost water grass's restraint. Unexpectedly, under Xuanhua's manipulation, even the hand wielding the sword is restricted. Lin Feng couldn't help but admire. Xianhua really thought this through. Running at full speed, the ghost horse might not even be restrained by the ghost water grass. At this time, the ghost water grass is truly effective. The ghost horse was already limited in its magical abilities. Now, with this situation, Zhang Dan's power has dropped at least one level. But the headless general isn't so easy to deal with. Those released ghost spirits, except for those exterminated by the outer perimeter on Myoji, are all rushing here now. Lin Feng could only turn to look at President Yan. Hold the outer perimeter of the lake. We can't let them in. Xian, Xiaobai and Fengyu rushed out together. At the same time, there was also Tong Tong in evil spirit mode. Shanling cried out together. She said to Xiaohua, take us there. Under Xiaohua's power, flowers bloomed on the lake's surface. A path leading to the heart of the lake has been laid, and it's strong enough to support Chairman Yun and Lin Feng walking on it. At this moment, Tong Tong, speeding along, was caught up by the 8-armed ghost spirit. Chairman Yun hurriedly reminded, be careful, that ghost spirit is A-class. Unexpectedly, Tong Tong with a backhand swipe, sent it to reincarnation. He also gained a talent, health regeneration, 1% per second. President Yun was shocked by Tong Tong's performance again. How long has it been? She's already A rank. Xiao Bai wasn't to be outdone. With a flourish of her spear, the approaching ghosts were killed one after another. In this way, the 4 ghosts guarded the 4 directions leading to the center of the lake. For Tong Tong, this is simply a great place to gain experience. Xiao Yun didn't expect Lin Feng's 2 ghost spirits to be so strong, but it's good news for President Yen. Lin Feng's fame, and also his relationship with President Yen can also benefit. Lin Feng nervously stared at the headless general in the arena. He didn't expect it to already be this intense. It still refused to dismount. Fortunately, Tong Tong had already dealt with the ghost over there, and was able to lend a hand to Xianhua. After Tong Tong joined the battle, the headless general was forced to fight on foot. It leaped into the air, swinging its sword towards Tong Tong. Xiaohua intervened just in time, releasing a purple mist, blocking the headless general's sight, not giving the headless general a chance. Xianhua manipulated the ghost water grass again, entangling the headless general. Such a perfect opportunity naturally couldn't be missed. Fengyu and Xiaohua launched a long-range attack. Tong Tong's rainbow light flashed. He lunged forward, claws waving. But then, something unexpected happened. Tong Tong was flung back. He was quite badly injured. Fengyu and Xiaohua were the same. They were sent flying. Luckily, Xiao Bai arrived just in time, and caught them both. The headless general, at the heart of the political assassination, is unharmed. Chairwoman Yun saw it immediately. The headless general's armor is also problematic. It can inflict retaliatory damage. This put her in a difficult position. With defensive ghost artifacts of such a high rank, how is she supposed to fight? The headless general ignored everyone's shock. He raised his sword and lunged at Tong Tong. Tong Tong was already injured, and now seemed extremely vulnerable. Lin Feng shouted anxiously, "Tong Tong, watch out." Tong Tong's ghostly spirit artifact suddenly reacted. Amidst Lin Feng's worried gaze, Tong Tong suddenly entered a mutated state. His aura became cold and indifferent. He successfully blocked the headless general's attack. The headless general missed. He immediately retreated. Although Tong Tong had become stronger, he still couldn't defeat the headless general. Lin Feng, who was thinking of a countermeasure, had a sudden inspiration. Turned to look at Xianhua. Let's try the ghost fire. The ghost sedan and the marriage certificate both have this weakness. The headless general is likely the same. Xianhua circulates her ghost energy, forming streams of ghost fire that shoot towards the headless general. The ghost fire poof 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 lands on the headless general. Quickly, the ghostly green flames envelop the headless general. The strike was unexpectedly effective. Tong Tong and Xiaohua seized the opportunity. They moved forward swiftly. With full force, they launched their strongest attack. This time, it landed solidly on the headless general. No counter damage was taken. The headless general seemed to be at the end of his strength. He knelt down on the water's surface. President Yen sighed. It seems to be over, but Lin Feng knew it wasn't over yet, because the system prompt hadn't arrived. Sure enough, just as everyone relaxed slightly, the headless general suddenly raised his sword and accelerated. Luckily, Lin Feng had seen through it early on. Otherwise, it's hard to say whether 1 or 2 people wouldn't have been taken away. Under Lin Feng's command, Tong Tong confronted the headless general. With one strike, he severed the headless general's sword-wielding arm. Lin Feng leaped. He caught the ghost sword that the headless general had dropped. He arrived before the headless general. He plunged his sword downwards. Ding 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 ding. System messages continuously appeared. Battle victory. The annulment quest is complete. Obtain ghost sword, dealing continuous damage. Double damage against ghosts. Obtain ghost armor, superior defense. Physical damage reflection. Obtain ghost cloak. Subdue the hissing ghost stench for your use. Turn it to your advantage. Obtain ghost servant, ghost horse. Ignore fatigue, ignore terrain type. Ignoring some of the ghost domain barriers. I heard system prompts one after another. Lin Feng sighed. What headless general? It's clearly a treasure-giving boy. Meanwhile, on the outside, Zhuo Ling said to her father with a worried look. Dad, there's been no movement from over there for a long time. Why don't you go help Lin Feng? Chairman Zhuo is speechless. Didn't Gang Feng just say survival is the priority? Truly, daughters are hard to keep at home. Before they could act, whoosh, the ghost realm vanished. Zhuo Yu reacted quickly, nervously staring in one direction. Look over there, quickly. Zhuo Ling and Chairman Zhuo looked in the direction Zhuo Yu pointed. The ghostly figure appeared again. A figure holding a sword was on its back. This shocked them greatly. It was the headless general. But as the figure approached, they saw clearly that it was clearly Lin Chu, wearing the headless general's complete set of armor. This awesome entrance left everyone present dazzled. The headless general just whooshed. Lin Feng is that strong. Really, really cool. Seeing this scene, President Chua felt a little unbalanced. He's 15. He gets all the benefits. It's all because he speaks up. Lin Feng, are you selling this ghost horse or not? I'll offer 50 million contribution points. Lin Feng answered without hesitation. No. President Zhuo was stunned. Lin Feng was so resolute, there wasn't even a sliver of room for negotiation. Chairman Zhuo refuses to give in. He raises the bid again, 80 million. No, 100 million. Zhuoling watches from behind, breaking into a cold sweat. Is her dad so obsessed with getting the ghost horse? Xiao Yun is also shocked by Chairman Zhuo's bid. How is this Chairman Zhuo so rich? Chairwoman Yan explains. The Zhuo family is a prominent family in Haicheng. This amount of money should be nothing to him. Lin Feng had no intention of giving Chairman Zhuo any face. He rebuked, don't you understand? In today's society, many valuable things can't be bought with money. This isn't the society of 100 years ago where money was everything. Chairman Zhuo was momentarily speechless. Because Lin Feng was right, he couldn't refute it. President Yan watched the two of them confront each other silently, thinking that Lin Feng was indeed correct. What is valuable now are powerful ghost masters. Only they can lead humanity out of the apocalypse. And Lin Feng, at such a young age, has already achieved so much. It's hard to imagine how high he will rise in the future. This is something unattainable for ordinary people. It's beyond the measure of money. It might not even become a legend that will be remembered for generations. After sending Chairman Zhuo away, Chairwoman Yan invited Lin Feng to go back with her. Lin Feng politely refused. He planned to spend some time getting familiar with Guima. Of course, riding alone in the middle of the night would be quite boring. Lin Feng summoned Tong Tong and Xianhua. He took them for a ride, one in front and one behind. Celebrating Xuanhua's official restoration of freedom, the journey was smooth, regardless of the terrain. It was very stable. Along the way, Tong Tong suddenly opened her eyes. She pointed in a direction. Lin Feng understood, there was an evil spirit there. Let's test the ghost horse's abilities. Immediately, following Tong Tong's directions, the ghost horse recklessly smashed through an evil spirit's domain. Lin Feng wielded his ghost sword, rode the ghost horse, and charged out from the other side. The B-class evil spirit, still caught off guard, was decapitated. It was that swift and decisive. Not long after that, Guima brought Lin Feng near 7 Sea City. Lin Feng himself didn't expect Guima could run so fast. But in the city, Lin Feng didn't plan to attract too much attention. He dismounted and put away his gear. But Guima was so huge. What should I do? Should I cram it into the storage compartment grade 2? The system appeared at the right moment, reminding Lin Feng that he can upgrade the storage space for 3,000 points. Upgrade? After the upgrade, the storage space has become a small house. It's big enough to live in after tidying up. The system also automatically generated a horse and a walk-in closet. And the ghost water grass Lin Feng obtained earlier can be used to feed the ghost horse, to help it recover its strength. Tong Tong suddenly and cautiously tugged at Lin Feng's shoulder, because she sensed a threat. Lin Feng immediately exited the system space, and discovered a little mischievous ghost hopping and skipping towards them from a short distance. But the ghost aura is strange. It's even weaker than E-class. Passing by, Lin Feng had no desire to attack it. It hopped away on its own, a smile on its face. Lin Feng thought, could this be one of those ghosts with Sandman logic? It only attacks when a certain condition is met, and the postman's bag on its back is quite unique. I wonder if there are any treasures inside. I've never been kind to evil spirits. Since there might be treasure, we can't let it go. Lin Feng then ordered Tong Tong to snatch the postman's bag. Although Tong Tong was a little afraid, as long as it was Lin Feng's order, she would carry it out without fail. He immediately rushed forward and snatched the postman's bag. Sure enough, this ghost is no ordinary one. After the item was stolen, the ghostly energy surged. Immediately, Lin Feng and Tong Tong appeared together at the ghost hole. This feeling was all too familiar. It was Xianhua using the 7 flash escape. In other words, that postman ghost. Xianhua felt a strong threat. Just who is he? In that case, I should take a good look at the snatched postman's bag. After opening it, I found a letter inside. Looking at this gibberish, Lin Feng immediately thought of Xuanhua's marriage contract. Just as incomprehensible. But this time the handwriting is more delicate. Maybe it was written by a female ghost. If it weren't for the system prompt, Lin Feng would have almost forgotten he had the ability to decipher ghost script. Then Lin Feng turned his gaze to Xianhua. Come on, Xianhua tacitly activated her ghost energy. The ghost script on the letter, in Lin Feng's eyes, transformed into individual Chinese characters. Without exception, they all read, "Save me. Save me." The system popped up. It sensed high-level ghost energy. The third ghost spirit mission has begun. The host can choose the unknown female ghost who sent the letter as the third ghost spirit, initiating the Ba Xian mission. Third ghost spirit. This is definitely good news for Lin Feng. But it's too soon to be certain based on just a letter. Even online dating isn't this hasty. Luckily, the system is quite user-friendly. It told Lin Feng he could simultaneously undertake 3 ghost spirit bond quests. Only a ghost spirit that completes all the quests can be successfully bound. Given that, Lin Feng didn't hesitate. He'll just start them. Anyway, he can always switch if something better comes along. Han Xian mission activated. Reward, G Xian +3. Host needs to reply to the unknown female ghost. Giving the letter to the ghost postman will complete the mission. Lin Feng felt embarrassed. Truly, what goes around comes around. He just snatched someone's bag, and now he has to ask them to deliver a letter. Lin Feng tentatively asked a question. Tong Tong, Xianhua, can you handle that ghostly postman? Xianhua and Tong Tong shook their heads. Clearly, they were powerless. Otherwise, they wouldn't have run away so quickly. No choice. Dai suggested writing a reply first. Lin Feng responded. Who are you? Where are you? I had just finished writing the letter when the ghost postman rushed over menacingly. His expression, combined with his powerful ghostly aura, made Lin Feng's scalp tingle. Having no choice, Lin Feng could only throw the postman's bag to him first. He would assess the situation and then make a plan. The moment he received the postman's bag, the ghost postman reverted to his previous harmless appearance, and conveniently took Lin Feng's reply with them. Inside the city lord's mansion of Haicheng, the city lord was enjoying a lavish feast. Suddenly, 3 people entered to report. You mean Lin Feng killed the headless general? City lord Lu Yunxiao spoke calmly. Haicheng's third miss, Lu Ru, stood behind him, quietly accompanying him. We've known about this for a while. Lin Feng is most likely a hidden spirit body. How can we let him go to the Ghost Master League? We must recruit him, at any cost. Meanwhile, such confidential information is spreading in a small tavern. The tavern bartender whispered. Last night, I hacked into the Ghost Master Association's internal system. They discovered the headless general was shot. Guess who did it? After saying that, he proudly showed his ID card to the 2 of them. The information on it left them stunned. It was actually Lin Feng. He's 15 years old. Isn't this kind of spirit connection just overpowered? The old man sighed in amazement. The world is inherently unfair. Some people are naturally stronger, better looking, and more hardworking than you. You might as well go home, get married, and have kids. That should be better than. At his age, he's probably never even touched a woman's hand. However, when they speak, Lin Feng lay sprawled on the bed. Xianhua was on his left, and Tong Tong on his right. He was truly carefree and happy. Lin Feng, wake up. Yan Huichang's voice came. Lin Feng reluctantly got up. Xianhua thoughtfully helped him dress. Leaving the room, he saw. President Yan leaned against the wall, and said, a beautiful woman from the city lord's mansion is looking for you. Do you want to meet her? The visitor was none other than Miss Lu Ru, the 3rd daughter of Haicheng. After Lin Feng was seated, the 2 exchanged pleasantries. Then Lu Ru spoke first. Actually, when I was in Luqing, I noticed you, but the Onmyoji alliance beat me to it. This time, you dealt with the headless general. Regardless, I must invite you to join Haicheng Prefecture. Lin Feng looked proud. Then you may be disappointed. Lu Ru interrupted. Don't rush, let me finish. The Ghost Master League was established by powerful Ghost Masters from the north. My father also holds a position within it. With your talent, the League will certainly give you the best training. They might even send you to the city with the most spirit bodies. But you'll also be assigned to support various cities during ghost surges. You will lose your safety and freedom. Lin Feng raised an eyebrow. Joining us would be even better for you. Of course, and what I can offer you isn't just simply being a subordinate of Haicheng. As long as you can become a D-Sha level Ghost Master within 5 years, I can persuade my father to let me marry you. I can give you half of Haicheng. As for how to guarantee Lu Ru, she stated that her father is already 86 years old. He is expected to pass away in 5 years. At that time, she will become the city lord of Haicheng. However, she is aware that her own strength is not yet strong enough. Therefore, she needs a sufficiently powerful husband. As long as Lin Feng can become a D-Sha level Ghost Master within 5 years, she can persuade her father. Allow her to marry Lin Feng. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Haicheng is one of the 6 major central cities, a city with 8 million people. 99% of Ghost Masters would agree, right? But Lin Feng hesitated for a moment. He asked, Sister, why me? Hearing Lin Feng say that, Lu Ru suddenly felt a little flustered. A blush crept onto her cheeks. What did you just call me? Lin Feng replied in confusion. I called you sister. I'm 15. If not sister, then what? Lu Ru's face showed her embarrassment after listening. Ahem, you won't be 15 years old in 5 years. Don't say I'm taking advantage of you. Just, consider it. I'm leaving now. Then she fled as if flying away, leaving Lin Feng completely bewildered. Did I say something wrong? On the way back, Lu Ru was so ashamed she wanted the earth to swallow her whole. It was so awkward. Why didn't anyone tell me Lin Feng is only 15? He looks so handsome and mature. I'm clearly young and beautiful, but I feel so guilty, like an older woman preying on a younger man. But then, Lu Ru became anxious and uncertain again. Will Lin Feng agree to me? Lin Feng and Chairman Yan are currently dining at a restaurant. Lin Feng curiously asks, why is the Sea Lord's daughter so young, while he is already over 80 years old? Chairman Yen explains. He's an eccentric old man. He was a prominent figure in his youth. He never got married. Until he realized he had no heir. Then he settled down. Lu Ru is the only one of his children with spiritual abilities, and she's certain to inherit the City Lord's position. In my opinion, City Lord Hai doesn't have many years left. Madame Yan's words made Lin Feng suddenly think of a question. Then after he passes away, what will become of his ghost? Chairwoman Yun said while eating. His ghost is quite powerful, and even after his death, no one can control it. It will surely run amok and cause disaster, so before his death, he will definitely leave Haiching to go to the ghost prison to eliminate the hidden danger. Ghost prison. Lin Feng keenly caught this unfamiliar term. Chairwoman Yen continued her explanation. The Ghost Master Alliance's warehouse has a cell made of gold. It holds the malevolent spirits that have caused ghost tides for a century, and also the ghost spirits released by powerful ghost masters after their deaths. Before their deaths, they walk into the cell, completely sealed with gold, waiting for the ghost master's deaths. The ghost naturally was also sealed inside. After many years, the seal weakens. Other Onmyoji can then try to control it. When my alliance contribution reaches a certain level, I can go to the ghost prison and subdue one. And I've already chosen one. Number 55, the city-slaying ghost. No one has been able to subdue it. It's definitely waiting for me. Speaking of which, Chairman Yun almost choked on her water. So, Chairman Yun got up, and personally fed Lin Feng a cherry. You must support your older sister well. Don't let others take you away. You know, Lin Feng gave an awkward smile. I'll try my best. The system suddenly prompted. A ghostly letter is about to arrive. Please wait at the uninhabited west of the city, host. System prompt. The ghost postman will arrive soon to deliver the letter. Lin Feng arrived outside the city early. He summoned Tong Tong and Xianhua at the same time, watching the ghost postman's rapidly approaching figure. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel a little worried, because even Tong Tong and Xianhua together couldn't defeat him. But this time, it's receiving mail. The ghost postman shouldn't attack himself, right? Seeing how aggressively he was approaching, Tong Tong even entered evil spirit mode. Xianhua also prepared for battle. Fortunately, when he arrived in front of Lin Feng, he suddenly braked hard, stopping steadily. The ghost postal worker hands over Lin Feng's reply with both hands. After Lin Feng takes the letter, the ghost postal worker grins ominously. He rubs his thumb and index finger together, suggestively. Lin Feng doesn't yet understand what's going on. Xianhua steps forward and releases a burst of ghostly energy. Only then does Lin Feng realize he needs to pay a fee. The key is still COD. Forget it, it's not important. After opening the envelope, Lin Feng pulled Xianhua along, and used the ghost mark to decipher it. The gibberish on the letter began to reveal text. Quietly observe the southwest of Lucheng, following the ghost energy. Speaking of quiet observation, Lin Feng immediately thought of the Jizhao temple, where they struck the wooden fish back then. Could the female ghost who wrote the letter also be trapped inside, just like Xuanhua's embroidered shoes? It seems this ghost postman is quite powerful. He can even deliver letters from a place like Jizhao temple. Lin Feng turned to Xuanhua. We need to follow the ghostly aura from the letter to the southwest of Liucheng. Xuanhua, of course, unconditionally obeyed. Lin Feng mounted his horse. Fully armed, he prepared to depart. Guima's mount was exceptionally swift. They soon reached the uninhabited zone. He should reach Lucheng tonight. At that moment, his identity card received a message. Lin Feng opened it. It was from President Yen. It turns out a massive ghost tide suddenly appeared west of Lucheng. Reinforcements. You're about to be overwhelmed. Please, reinforcements. I'd like to trouble Lin Feng to go as well. This so-called ghost tide is an attack wave composed of hundreds or thousands of malevolent spirits. It's the most destructive disaster of this era. It appears on the outskirts of towns every few years. The city's defense is handled by the Onmyoji stationed at the gates. Cities typically have multiple outer defense lines. Although they lack city walls, they are equipped with ghost cry detectors and Onmyoji fortresses. The closer to the outer lines, the higher the level of defense. But if the defenses fail, the entire city will face utter destruction. Of course, all the ghost tides that have hit our Lucheng in the past have been successfully defended. Everyone needn't worry too much. Lucheng Second Exorcist School. The teacher is introducing the ghost tide to the students. A little girl suddenly stands up to ask a question. If the defense line collapses, what will happen to us? Aren't you an exorcist, teacher? Why aren't you going to fight? The teacher broke out in a cold sweat, quickly changing the subject. The next class is Mr. Wang's escape simulation. He will answer your questions. At the northern defense of Lucheng, several Onmyoji are chatting amiably. I heard this ghost tide is especially dangerous. Let's retreat to the city for defense. Damn it, I don't know how many Onmyoji will lose this time. Suddenly, these Onmyoji realized something was wrong. But it was too late. An A-class malevolent spirit appeared in the first line of defense. It spread its spirit domain recklessly. These Onmyoji were pulled into the spirit domain. There was no escape, they could only fight to the death. They unleashed their spirits one after another. trying to test the strength of this evil spirit. But in a mere moment, all the spirits lost their fighting ability. The evil spirit lunged at the 7 Onmyoji. All the Onmyoji thought that this was their end. Suddenly, they heard the sound of horses' hooves. Lin Feng, riding the ghost horse, smashed the evil spirit's ghostly domain. The evil spirit was stunned. How could there be such a way to break the ghostly domain? Tong Tong followed closely behind. Xing Hongli didn't swing his weapon. The evil spirit was instantly decapitated. These ghost masters didn't feel relieved after surviving. Instead, they were even more panicked. It's terrible. This ghost is even stronger than the previous ones. They couldn't even muster the will to resist. It wasn't until Lin Feng entered with Tong Tong and Xianhua that they realized, wait, he's a ghost master. His ghost spirits are unbelievably powerful. After Lin Feng rescued them, he asked, are you ghost masters from Lucheng? They affirmed and told Lin Feng, the ghost tide from the west has already seeped through. You need to be careful. They hadn't even finished speaking. Lin Feng charged towards the west. One of them watched his departing figure. He recognized him. Isn't that Lin Feng? The others exclaimed in surprise. How is that possible? Didn't he just pass the evaluation not long ago? His growth rate is terrifying. Not long after, Lin Feng arrived at Liucheng's first defense line. There are indeed many more ghosts here. He rushed over all the way. Even with Lin Feng's extraordinary physique, he was still sweating from exhaustion. Not far away was a war-torn ruin. The fighting here is already this intense. It's hard to imagine how critical the situation is on the outer perimeter. If that's the case, then let's have a major cleanup. With Lin Feng's strength, there's nothing to worry about here. He, along with Tong Tong and Xianhua, charged into the ghost tide, transforming into a sand machine. With the added strength of Gui Jian, Gui Kai, and Gui Ma, Lin Feng's speed was also incredibly fast. Cutting straight through the ghost tide, Tong Tong and Xuanhua's experience was also rapidly increasing. Lucheng's second defense line, a ghost spirit, vast and overshadowing, was chasing a motorcycle. The motorcycle swerved and stopped. Yuan Feng told Han Xue to stay there, and he himself lured the A-class evil spirit to the base. He looked up into the distance. He saw a puzzling sight. What was that? The area he'd passed through was completely empty, but he didn't have time to think. The Class A ghost behind him had already caught up. He quickly turned around and floored the gas pedal. Unexpectedly, another Class A ghost appeared from a different direction. He was trapped in the middle, nowhere to escape. In a blink of an eye, the ghost realms of two Class A evil spirits collided. A wave of air swept across the entire ruins. Seeing this, Han Xue screamed, Yuan Feng. She knew very well, under these circumstances, with Yuan Feng's strength, he would absolutely not survive. The following scene left Han Xue with an unforgettable memory. Lin Feng, riding the ghost horse, smashed through the ghost realm. He still held Yuan Feng in his hand. Tong Tong followed behind him. His claws slashed and tore apart that Class A evil spirit. To save time, after confirming there was no danger, Lin Feng casually tossed. He threw Yuan Feng to the ground. He himself didn't stop for a moment. He rushed towards the next battlefield without stopping. Looking at the information displayed on the identity card, Lin Feng concluded that there must be a breach in the city wall. Otherwise, the second defense zone couldn't possibly have so many Class A evil spirits. When Lin Feng fought his way out of the ghost tide, when they reached the city walls, it was as he expected. For some reason, a huge section of the massive golden city wall had collapsed, creating a gaping hole. Countless ghosts surged through the breach, pouring into the city. Without Lin Feng needing to tell them, Xianhua and Tong Tong charged straight into the ghostly tide. Tong Tong unleashed his ghost domain. Xuanhua's red threads danced. The number of slain wraiths was countless. Xianhua had reached the point where she could upgrade. In this situation, Lin Feng naturally chose to upgrade without hesitation. After Xuanhua's promotion to S rank, she gained a new ability, Mist, which can confuse the enemy's sense of direction, commonly known as hitting a ghost wall. Lin Feng also gained a 4x physical enhancement. After clearing the nearby ghost tide, Lin Feng, without stopping, continued to rush towards the outer perimeter, to a fortress in the western 3 defense area of Lucheng. It was bearing the brunt of the ghost tide attacks from all directions, and was already in a precarious situation. Master Fei, an S-class ghost master, personally joined the battle. He's resisting the surging tide of ghosts. Otherwise, with this many, the other ghost masters wouldn't have time to react. Suddenly, someone reported, an S-class evil spirit is approaching from the west. This news startled Master Fei. He's currently using a shadow clone technique. No one can stop that guy. What Elder Fei doesn't know is, the direction where the S-class evil spirit is located, happens to be where a young man is heading. Lin Feng, riding his ghostly steed, recklessly entered the ghost realm. He discovered that the ghost realm hadn't shattered. A guess began to form in his mind. Could this be the S-class evil spirit? It sensed someone invading its territory. The S-class evil spirit, Monokuma, appeared. It launched a level 7 attack on Lin Feng. With one punch, the ground trembled 3 times. Luckily, Lin Feng's horsemanship was excellent. He steered the ghost horse and dodged it. Monokuma missed its attack. It swung its claws again, and Lin Feng avoided it on horseback. Say to Xianhua, use the mist. Xianhua will then flick her sleeve. A jet of dark green mist erupts, enveloping the entire Monokuma. Tong Tong enters a mutated form, wanting a quick resolution. Monokuma, surrounded by mist. I can't figure out what's going on. Tong Tong slashed at it several times in a flash. Each blow landed squarely on its body. The Monokuma's body began to crack. Cotton-like clumps emerged from the wounds. Strangely, its abdomen emitted a green light. The system didn't send a message. That proves Monokuma isn't dead. But this guy is clearly a puppet. So the little ball in the middle is the real thing. Through the green sphere, you can see a small black and white bear sitting inside. After Lin Feng destroyed the toy, it was enraged. Ghostly energy erupted violently, forming waves of chairs. The bamboo shoots in the ghost domain began to grow wildly. The ghost domain is also expanding continuously. It's even putting pressure on the ghost domain generated by Old Fei. Within Old Fei's ghost domain, countless bamboo shoots sprung up from the ground. This caused considerable casualties among the ghost masters within Old Fei's ghost domain. Under such circumstances, other ghost masters can only hold the line here first. Let Old Fei deal with the S-class evil spirit first. The little black and white bear glared angrily at Lin Feng. He wanted to devour him alive. But in Lin Feng's eyes, this was no different from acting cute. He didn't take the little black and white bear seriously at all, because he had already discovered the black and white bear's weakness. Xianhua, with perfect coordination, generated ghost fire in her palm. Xianhua flicked her delicate hand. Ghost fires scattered like ropes, entangling the bamboo around the little black and white bear. Under Xuanhua's deliberate manipulation, the ghost fires exploded violently. The little black and white bear, trapped at the center of the inferno, had nowhere to escape. It was burned to ashes. A system prompt arrived. S-class ghost spirit killed. Obtained 1 ghost domain fragment. Obtained 1 ghost bamboo shoot. Elder Fei, who had just arrived, looked bewildered. What's going on? The ghost energy suddenly disappeared. The ghost domain began to collapse gradually, revealing Lin Feng, Tong Tong, and Xianhua. Elder Fei thought, are these experts from the Ghost Master Alliance? A ray of sunlight broke through the clouds. The Ghost Masters held on until a rare period of peace. Although it was only half an hour to catch their breath. The casualty count this time, in just a few short hours, over 760 Ghost Masters perished. Among them were 5 A-rankers. This was before Lin Feng arrived to provide support. Having single-handedly dealt with the S-class evil spirit, Elder Fei felt sincere gratitude towards Lin Feng. However, Elder Fei was curious. Wasn't it said that the Alliance sent 2 teams? Why were you alone? Lin Feng answered truthfully, saying that he acted alone, as a special envoy. That's right, the team shouldn't have arrived yet. What? It's not even the official team, and they're already this strong. After Elder Fei's shock subsided, he said to Lin Feng with a smile, so young, and already possessing such strength. I don't know your name. Lin Feng told him his name. Upon learning that the young man before them was Lin Feng, several people became excited. Wasn't he the one who recently resolved the city's evil spirits, the genius spirit medium? Elder Fei even raised his cup to befriend Lin Feng. Upon learning that his hometown was experiencing a ghost tide, he immediately rushed to provide support. Such a responsible young man is rare. After half an hour of rest, Lin Feng and Old Fei stood atop the city wall, watching the even more ferocious ghost tide. Worse still, the detector's intelligence map showed that within this ghost tide, there were 2 S-class ghosts. Old Fei's face changed drastically. My own injuries haven't healed yet. We're already short-handed, so we definitely can't win, unless we bring in the Onmyoji from the south. And right at this moment, an Onmyoji rushed in. Master Fei, bad news. News from the south. Ghost tides have appeared on the southern front as well. 2 fortresses have already been completely wiped out. What? There are ghost tides in the south too. Misfortune never comes singly. It's all over. Thinking this, Old Fei turned to Lin Feng. Such a great talent as you. Even if Lu Cheng is lost, you shouldn't die in vain. You go first. I'll hold them off. After you grow stronger, then avenge us. But Lin Feng remained unmoved. He asked Elder Fei, can you hold off a single S-class evil spirit? Elder Fei hesitated for a moment. He replied, holding it off for a while shouldn't be a problem. Then let's go. I can guarantee, we will definitely win. Saying this, Lin Feng leaped onto the city wall. By the time he landed, he was already mounted on his ghost horse. Clad in ghost armor, Tong Tong and Xianhua followed closely behind. Lao Fei steeled his heart. Although he felt there was no chance of victory in this situation, he still decided to take a gamble with Lin Feng. The Onmyoji on the city walls weren't idle either. They began loading ammunition, bombarding the ghost tide. As Lin Feng met the ghost tide head-on, the battle officially began. Elder Fei patted his shoulder strap. His S-class spirit appeared. He immediately unleashed his ghost domain. He faced the White Fiend. Their ghost domains clashed violently. In a split second, Old Fei felt immense pressure. The White Fiend's power was too strong, and Old Fei was still heavily wounded and recovering. Meanwhile, the spirit masters on the city wall were even more tense, because their eyes were fixed on. Lin Feng didn't even deploy his domain. He directly charged towards Haisha's ghost domain. What they didn't know was, Lin Feng already had a plan in mind. He did intend to deploy his ghost domain, but not yet. After charging into Haisha's ghost domain, sure enough, 8 A-class evil spirits were waiting in battle formation. Haisha stood there, staring intently at Lin Feng. Faced with this situation, Lin Feng laughed. This is exactly what I wanted, all 8 of you. Immediately, Xianhua, with lightning speed, bound the 8 Class A evil spirits. Lin Feng took a risk, personally entering the fray to attract Haisha. Xianhua deployed her ghost domain, including all the Class A evil spirits. I didn't elaborate before. It was to achieve this surprise effect. The 2 ghost masters on the city wall were dumbfounded. What kind of operation is this? Lin Feng's ghost spirit can actually unfold its ghost domain within an S-class ghost domain, and it even imprisoned 8 Class A spirits inside. Aren't you afraid that the ghost domain will be overwhelmed? Only the spirits within Xuanhua's ghost domain know how terrifying Xuanhua's ghost domain is. Not only can they not expand their own ghost domains, but even using their ghost techniques is incredibly difficult. What's more, within the ghost domain, there's also Tong Tong, whose battle prowess is off the charts. With Xuanhua's suppression and restraint, Tong Tong, in a flash, his body rolled, turned, and dodged. But Lin Feng's current situation wasn't so good. After the other ghost spirits were eliminated, Haisai's speed instantly increased dramatically. He stirred up huge battle fluctuations on the outskirts of Xuanhua's ghost domain. Tong Tong and Xianhua worriedly looked towards Lin Feng. This level of attack is very difficult for Onmyoji to directly counter. Their faces were filled with worry. Fortunately, Black used purely physical attacks. Lin Feng's ghost armor played a crucial role. The physical reflection also dealt Black a significant blow. Black quickly recovered. Raising a hand, it prepared to use magic. But how will Lin Feng give it a chance? Xianhua has already used the mist against Haisha. In the mist, Haisha can't figure out the direction at all. Soundlessly, Xianhua has already come to its back. With a tearing sound, Xuanhua's ghost sword breaks through the mist, and also cuts open Haisha's body. I just don't know when it ended up in Xuanhua's hands. Watching the black dissipate slowly, Lin Feng felt triumphant. Xuanhua's blink technique is indeed useful. The ghost sword can also be instantly transferred to her hand. The black hissed, and Lin Feng quickly rushed to support Old Fei. Facing the white's ghost domain, Lin Feng ordered the ghost horse to charge in. With this collision, a crack appeared in its ghost domain. A fissure was created. After Lin Feng arrived, the situation on the field instantly reversed. The ghost spirits that had overwhelmed the other Onmyoji couldn't withstand even a single attack before Xianhua and Tong Tong. But Old Fei remained worried. His ghost domain has been broken. Bai Sha's strength is far greater than that of an average S-class. However, Lin Feng also has his own confidence. After Tong Tong eliminated an evil spirit in the Zansha, he reached the level to upgrade. Bai Sha was originally preparing to deal with Lao Fei's ghost, but at that moment, Tong Tong's upgrade created a huge surge of ghost energy. Bai Sha suddenly turned around. She didn't care about Lao Fei's ghostly abilities, but Tong Tong posed a deadly threat to her. Tong Tong, an S-class, had reached 74 stars of potential. She was entering her mutation mode. A huge, colorful phantom appeared behind her. Xianhua was inside Bai Sha's ghost domain. She forcibly expanded her own ghost domain. Bai Sha's ghost domain was already impacted by Lao Fei's ghost domain, and then a flaw was struck by Gui Ma. Now, it's been directly broken by Xianhua's ghost domain. Lao Fei, next. It's time for a counterattack. Hearing this, Lao Fei's eyes were filled with shock. Both of them are already S-class. Under Lin Feng's command, Tong Tong brandished his large blade, striking towards Bai Sha. The shadow behind him mirrored the action. Bai Sha was indeed extraordinary. He manipulated the paper figures, coalescing them into a giant monster. It seized Tong Tong's shadow with its claw, then punched him back. The blow sent Tong Tong flying. With Tong Tong being attacked, how could Lin Feng possibly stand idly by? With a flick of his cloak, the ghost spirits that had been previously subdued swarmed forth. They all pounced on the paper giant. They started to wildly gnaw at it. The paper giant was strong, but it couldn't withstand so many minor enemies. What's more, they all fought without regard for their lives. Furthermore, there was also Tong Tong, a formidable opponent, watching intently. Seeing the giant beast disrupted, Tong Tong seized the chance and unleashed a stunning blow. This time, the paper giant offered no resistance and was cleaved in two, revealing the figure of Bai Sha behind it. Bai Sha charged at Tong Tong. She managed to block the Golden Phantom's attack, using the ghost artifact in her hand. But as Tong Tong exerted himself again, The blade's force was unstoppable, and Baisha was directly shattered into fragments. Tong Tong stood in midair, like a god descending to earth. The white evil spirit before him slowly dissipated, but the system prompt didn't come. Elder Fei looked at the detector on his identity card and discovered that Baisha had escaped long ago. It's already more than 500 meters away. Lin Feng immediately turned to look in the direction Baisha ran. Sure enough, it left without looking back. This Baisha definitely has the ability to create clones. This behavior is definitely not that of an ordinary S-class evil spirit. Tong Tong was about to chase after it, but Lin Feng stopped him. The mutation time is approaching, and defending the city is urgent. Lin Feng's performance truly shocked everyone. Not only did he force an S-class evil spirit to flee, he also subdued 2 S-class ghost spirits. This should have been a moment of celebration, but then the identity card message arrived. Lu City requested reinforcements. The southern line completely collapsed. The ghost tide has already reached Golden City. All the on-site ghost masters were shocked. They thought the western front, facing 2 S-class evil spirits, was already under immense pressure. Unexpectedly, the southern front had completely fallen. Lin Feng frowned. This ghost tide seemed chaotic, but upon closer examination, it was clearly premeditated. Every step was aimed at Lu City. This is preparing to annihilate Lucheng. Looking at Lin Feng's expression, Elder Fei also realized. Elder Fei and the others can't leave. Otherwise the western front will also fall. The situation will only become more critical. At this time, Lin Feng volunteered. I'll go. The other Onmyoji looked at Lin Feng with eyes full of gratitude. Because their wives and children are in the city, now they can only place their hope on Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't linger. He mounted his horse and continued on his way. This ghost tide is definitely not accidental. Perhaps the answer can be found within the city. Lin Feng quickly arrived at the west of the city, but found that things here seemed quite normal. Suddenly, I received 7 messages from Pinyin. Lin Gu, are you in Lucheng? Can you come and save us? We're in the basement of the shopping mall. It's full of evil spirits outside. So, the ghost tide has entered the city. I hadn't ridden my ghost horse a few steps when the scene before me confirmed Lin Feng's guess. A massive ghost domain appeared before Lin Feng. The sheer scale of this ghost domain directly covered the entire center of the outer city. It must be an S-class or higher evil spirit. Lin Feng silently slipped into the ghost domain, but discovered that once inside, he couldn't get out. A battle fluctuation came from the distance, clearly from the location of the school. Has the inner city fallen as well? In the underground warehouse of the central supermarket, 3 of Lin Feng's companions from his training days are hiding. This ghost tide came so fiercely, so unexpectedly, they simply didn't have the ability to cope. After receiving their distress signal, Lin Feng immediately rushed towards the shopping center. But the mall is huge. It'll be hard to find them in a short time. I didn't waste my time with the evil spirits along the way either. They were all good materials for leveling up. Suddenly, the chubby boy remembered something. He ran to ask Jiang Shuang, isn't your dad an A-class ghost master? Why doesn't he come to save you? This question made Jiang Shuang, already scared, burst into tears. Her father was guarding the city on the southern front. Now she couldn't contact him. Some possibilities she dared not even think about. Suddenly, a sound came from the rolling door of the underground warehouse. The 3 of them stared at the entrance, guessing who had arrived. Lin Feng tentatively knocked on the door in front of him. The doors to the underground warehouse of the shopping mall are all pretty much the same. Pinyin didn't explain clearly, so it's hard for him to be sure. At that moment, under the astonished gaze of Sanjiu, a violent attack struck the vital point, causing a distortion. A twisted-looking evil spirit forcibly broke through the door and rushed in. Pinyin and the other 2 were so scared that they turned and ran. I didn't wait for a savior, but a death warrant. The door on Lin Feng's side also opened. Inside was a mother and son huddled in the corner. Looking at the woman before him, Lin Feng's pupils constricted. It was actually her. This was the mother who abandoned him. The moment he saw her, Lin Feng fell into a memory. He had just returned home from work. Grandpa was cutting Tongtong's hair with a sickle. Lin Feng, who had never seen this before, almost thought Grandpa had gone mad, about to attack Tongtong. Tongtong was still teasing Lin Feng with a tilted head. Grandpa's craftsmanship is truly amazing. Let's have the good boy try it. In this outer city's shanty town, Lin Feng, who had no prior relationship with them, became a family with Tongtong and the others. Grandpa who does mechanical repair and recycling work. The inscription is quite good. Actually, Grandpa who isn't very good at housework. But he took good care of Tongtong and Lin Feng. Although Tongtong was also an abandoned child, he was exceptionally optimistic. Ultimately, life was still quite warm. Lin Feng almost forgot the pain of being abandoned. Until one day, 2 Onmyoji came to their door. As soon as I saw Grandpa who, I started shouting. I only got the sensor replaced from you last week, and now this has happened. This guy, Jean, pointed at the damaged car and continued. Look at my precious car. Look what it's been reduced to. It must be because you went for the cheap option. You gave me a defective product. Grandpa Hu is too honest. He's still seriously explaining. It's impossible. Old Hu never does such a dishonest thing. Besides, the sensor wouldn't cause loss of steering or braking control. Mr. Jean grabbed Old Hu's collar. You mean, we're letting you? Then he threw Grandpa Hu to the ground. Who knows what tricks you played? I'm a ghost exorcist. You did it, so admit it. If you want to stay here, then pay me. At this time, Lin Feng and Tong Tong were carrying a lot of food home. As soon as they arrived at the door, they saw Grandpa Hu being bullied. The two quickly stepped forward to help Grandpa Hu up. Grandpa Hu was the backbone of Tong Tong and Lin Feng. Seeing him injured, both of them were very flustered. Grandpa Hu said he was fine. Then he glared fiercely at the two as they walked away. Just because they're ghost exorcists, they bully honest people. They even wanted my money. I don't even know where I keep my money. After saying that, he touched his head and laughed foolishly. Ha 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 ha. This happy little family, unexpectedly. The weaker one punches the even weaker one. That car was indeed damaged by Mr. Jean himself. But in their eyes, if he's not a tool for the exorcist, he deserves to be bullied. One night, they took advantage of Grandpa Hu's absence, kicking open the door to Grandpa Hu's shop. Grandpa Hu wasn't there. The two children posed no threat to them. Tong Tong and Lin Feng, who were playing with a cat, saw the uninvited guests who had broken in. They weren't alarmed. Because they were already desperate, they had nothing left to lose. Three ghost masters, one grabbed Tong Tong and Lin Feng, the other two began ransacking the place. They searched almost everywhere. They only found a small pouch of worthless silver. Having found nothing, they set their sights on Tong Tong. They were planning to sell Tong Tong to a private sweatshop, to get a little money back. Hearing this, Lin Feng flew into a rage. Anyone who touches Tong Tong, he would fight them to the death. He suddenly exerted himself, breaking free from his restraints. He bit the man's hand. But the man flung him away. He crashed into a wooden crate nearby. In the end, Lin Feng could only watch helplessly as they took Tong Tong away. He gradually lost consciousness and collapsed. When he woke up, Grandpa Hu had returned. He carefully bandaged his wounds. Fortunately, Lin Feng hadn't forgotten the keyword they mentioned. He knew Tong Tong was being held in the Daima factory in the south of Xicheng. That night, the grandfather and grandson set out. After they circled around, they finally found their target. Grandpa Hu handed Lin Feng a flashlight and a rope, asking him to go through the ventilation shaft to investigate, and then return. Lin Feng crawled through the ventilation shafts, finally finding the room where Tong Tong was. He saw Tong Tong forcibly tied to the bed by a group of people. One of them was holding a syringe. It seemed they were about to inject Tong Tong with something. Lin Feng, overcome with excitement, accidentally dropped his weapon. It landed squarely in another bed, attracting everyone's attention. Several people immediately realized that someone was in the ventilation shaft. Notify everyone else to surround him. Lin knew it was bad. He quickly tried to escape, but it was too late. Someone below was using a grappling hook, firing it towards Lin Feng's location. The grappling hook broke through a ventilation shaft. Lin Feng fell out. The ventilation duct isn't very high, but a fall like that would definitely be rough on a child. Lin Feng groggily opened his eyes, only to see a shocking sight. On each of the connected beds were pregnant women, forcibly restrained to the beds. Various instruments and tubes were connected to his body. Lin Feng didn't have time to think. He was pushed forward. No matter how hard he struggled, it was useless. Until he saw the factory owner. Lin Feng gave up struggling. Wasn't this just abandoning his own parents? Lin Feng saw shock on their faces as well. I didn't expect we'd meet again. And in this way. Hearing the commotion in the factory, Old Hu knew something was wrong, and he had to act. Lin Feng, held captive in the factory, escaped. He called the two people's parents. He was incredibly shocked. My own parents are actually working here. Lin Feng's mother is still a little shocked. Lin Feng's relative stepped forward and slapped him. Who's your father? Don't try to claim kinship with me. With a loud bang, a large hole was blown in the factory wall. Grandpa Hu burst in, crossbow loaded and ready. However, the people inside the factory weren't fazed at all. They raised their guns and fired at Grandpa Hu. Grandpa Hu seized an opportunity and shot a warning arrow. He told Lin Feng to take Tong Tong away from there. Tong Tong was stronger than Lin Feng and the others had imagined. She found an opportunity and jumped right onto the bed. Then she ran upstairs. Lin Feng quickly followed. He only had one thought now. That was to protect Tong Tong. Old Hu's crossbow bolts were all dodged, but he successfully blocked those people. But Tong Tong and the others were heading upwards. How could they possibly escape? In a short while, they reached the rooftop. The people behind had already caught up. The two had nowhere to retreat. Lin Feng shielded Tong Tong behind him. Tell her, don't worry, Grandpa will get us out of here. However, the reality was cruel. Grandpa Nyo soon came up, covered in wounds. He was also being held at gunpoint by Lin Feng. Tong Tong and Lin Feng exclaimed in shock. Grandpa. Hu Yi also spoke at that moment. Please, let them go. I'll pay any amount. Lin Feng's father directly kicked him 3 times. I don't want your money. I'm nurturing future ghost masters here. That's enough for several lifetimes. Then he turned to Tong Tong. Little one, come here obediently. I promise I won't hurt you. Seeing them about to attack Tong Tong, old man who suddenly exerted himself, breaking free and lunging at Lin Feng's father. But he was old and frail, no match for them. He was kicked away again. Enraged, Lin Feng's father held nothing back. A shot was aimed at Grandpa Hu. How could Tong Tong stand by and do nothing? He ran in front of Grandpa Hu, taking the bullet for him. Grandpa Hu was already at the edge of the roof. After Tong Tong fell, they both tumbled down together. Only Lin Feng remained alone, helpless sobs. For the sake of Lin Feng's mother, they didn't make things difficult for Lin Feng. They let Lin Feng fend for himself. That day, Tong Tong died on the spot. Grandpa Hu became a paraplegic. No one around dared to help. Everyone stayed far away. They all say, the strong crush the weak like tools, just like crushing ants. If you can survive, you should be laughing. Even more laughable is that all of this is thanks to Lin Feng's biological parents. He understood even more that the human heart is far more terrifying than evil spirits. Later, Lin Feng stopped making friends. He stopped looking for support. He wants to become the strongest onmyoji. He also despises that kind of person the most. Lin Feng looked at the mother who had once abandoned him. The irony is that she doesn't even recognize him. She begged Lin Feng bitterly. We were attacked by a ghost tide, and we had no choice but to hide here. Please save me and my child. Lin Feng asked her, where's your husband? The woman's face showed difficulty. Hesitantly, she finally spoke. When we first encountered the evil spirits, he abandoned us, me and the child, and ran away. Lin Feng wasn't surprised at all. This is exactly the kind of thing that cold-hearted man would do. Then Lin Feng turned his gaze to the child. At such a critical moment, he still keeps it with him. His talent must be quite impressive. If we don't save this child this time, he might repeat my experience from back then. At this time, a message came through on the identity plate. The advance team will arrive soon. You need to go to the residential area to escort the refugees. Lin Feng replied with his address. He took his biological mother, who didn't recognize him. Before leaving, the woman still hadn't forgotten her husband. She asked Lin Feng to check the third floor of the shopping mall. He might still be alive. Mentioning that man, Lin Feng would remember Tong Tong, who saved him. That's why he named his first ghostling Tong Tong. Because it was to commemorate the light that illuminated his dark life. Lin Feng didn't understand. That man abandoned you at the first sign of danger. And you still want to save her. Her answer left Lin Feng speechless. Please, even if he was wrong, he's still family. Please, he's still family, even if he was wrong. After a moment, Lin Feng still entered the shopping mall. Even if he ignores that man, he still needs to save Pingyan and the others. But along the way, Lin Feng only found Pingyan's ID tag. Was he too late? He didn't know if they had escaped. To save time, Lin Feng had Xianhua and Tong Tong deal with the evil spirits. I'll run upstairs first. With a ha sound, the glass roof shattered. That saves Lin Feng the trouble. Most of them are probably on the rooftop. Just as Lin Feng thought. On the rooftop helipad, a helicopter is under attack by evil spirits. But inside the helicopter cockpit, it's Lin Feng's father. He's using golden bullets to desperately fend off the evil spirits. More and more evil spirits are closing in. He doesn't have time to react and is caught. A liquid evil spirit wraps around his body. He'll exploit any opening, gradually depriving him of control over his body. Just then, Lin Feng arrived at the rooftop. He witnessed everything that was happening. Seeing Lin Feng, the man looked like he had seen a savior. Brother over there, save me. I can give you many contribution points. And gold. Lin Feng watched coldly from the sidelines, without the slightest reaction. He hadn't expected to see the person he least wanted to see. His body was gradually being controlled by the evil spirit, involuntarily falling to the ground, but he still held on to a sliver of hope. Wealth, power. Woman, I can give you everything. Save me. Lin Feng remained silent. In the end, his mind was still filled with only these thoughts. Besides, he was completely possessed by the evil spirit. There's no cure. Lin Feng didn't make a move. All the evil spirits lunged at him. He was shoved to the edge of the rooftop. He saw that there was no escape. The evil spirit had begun to completely take over his body. He went insane and fired at Lin Feng. Let's all go down together. Lin Feng didn't move. All the bullets missed. If even one bullet hadn't missed, would Lin Feng have moved? Only he himself knows. Lin Feng's father was possessed by an evil spirit, and fell from the upper floors of the shopping mall. Lin Feng didn't even glance back. He turned and left. This is his just desserts. He got what he deserved. Meanwhile, the Onmyoji school quickly organized the students to evacuate. But halfway there, suddenly, there was an explosion. The driver of another car swerved violently, narrowly avoiding a collision. But things clearly weren't that simple. From the exploded car, a fiery evil spirit emerged. Luckily, an Onmyoji acted swiftly, sending out their spirit sword to intercept it. The children in the car were crying their hearts out. The current situation, really scared them. The adults comforted them. Don't panic, just hold on for a few more minutes. We'll be at the Onmyoji residential area soon. Someone will help us. When they arrived at the residential area, I was stunned to discover that this place was also engulfed in war. The savior in their eyes, their last resort, was scattered and fleeing from the ghost tide. Pingyan and Jiang Shuang barely escaped from the shopping mall. After hiding in the Exorcist residential area, they found another disaster. The ghost spirits of those Qianqiu Academy students. In the hands of the ghostly tide's evil spirits, they were like toys. In the blink of an eye, they were instantly annihilated. Now, these Onmyoji were hoping to escape on the school bus, but it was all too late. A gigantic evil spirit descended from the sky, plunging straight into the ground. The resulting shockwave almost overturned the school bus. After landing, its wings spread, revealing its full form. It was a huge, one-eyed, eight-winged creature. The airflow generated by its open wings caused the already precarious school bus to completely lose its balance. It tipped to one side. At this critical moment, a roller coaster from an amusement park appeared out of nowhere. The school bus is safe. This is naturally Tongtong's doing. Immediately afterward, her ghost domain expanded, blocking all the evil spirits outside. The one-eyed horned monster was furious. He sensed a threat from Tongtong. He launched an attack first, but Tongtong nimbly dodged it. Instead, the monster's single eye was hit by Tongtong's silk ribbon. Xianhua cooperated seamlessly. She threw a ghost fire, adding fuel to the wound Tongtong had inflicted. The monster couldn't react in time. It suffered consecutive heavy blows. It wasn't over yet. Lin Feng leaped high on his horse. He swung the golden ghost sword, striking forcefully at its single eye. With a resounding boom, the earth shook and mountains crumbled. Cracks spread out from the ground like a spiderweb. A golden energy burst forth. The others watching from the side were so shocked their mouths dropped open. Where did this freak come from? This is insane. That person, could he be the savior? Upon closer inspection, those with sharp eyes recognized him. Isn't that Lin Feng? Pingyan felt incredibly invigorated. He's truly my brother Lin. That skill level, he's already an A-class veteran, right? Lin Feng didn't waste words. He took Xianhua and Tongtong. He mounted his horse and came before everyone. Everyone, take the wounded. Follow me. Everyone immediately forgot their previous fear. They began to marvel at Lin Feng's strength. They showed their admiration for Lin Feng. With Lin Feng, this top-tier combatant, joining them, the refugee convoy also formed a defensive formation. As long as there weren't any overly powerful ghosts, they could handle them. Lin Feng charged forward alone, clearing the way for everyone. It's no exaggeration to say one man holds the pass. Finally, the convoy has reached the east gate of the outer city. The city walls have been transformed by the Onmyoji Association into a safe haven. Lin Feng is overseeing the arrangement of the refugee convoy. A familiar voice came from beside his ear. Haven't seen you for a few days. Did you miss your older sister? Reunions should be joyous occasions, but Chairman Yun is filled with worry. The southern city walls of Lu Cheng's outer city have been breached, leaving most of the city in danger. Only one fortress remains, holding back the ghost tide. Ghost masters are key. They've already lost hundreds of ghost masters this time. The losses are too great. Suddenly, Chairman Yun thought of something, and asked Lin Feng, you came from the west, right? How is Elder Fei? Lin Feng awkwardly scratched his cheek. I dealt with 3 S-class evil spirits for him. He should be fine now. President Yen was startled when she heard. Then she lightly punched Lin Feng. Oh, Lin Feng, you've actually learned to joke so seriously. Is the next step going to be learning how to deceive girls? While they were chatting, a ghost master barged in. Urgent report. Another S-class evil spirit has infiltrated. President Yan's expression turned serious. No good, Lin Feng. We must hurry to support the city lord. Southern Defense. Fortress 3, the only remaining fortress in the south at present, is enduring immense pressure from the ghost tide. All this is because the city lord of Lucheng is here. Lucheng's top S-class Onmyoji. His ghost domain is blocking the vast majority of powerful evil spirits. He also received an urgent report. City lord, another S-class evil spirit has appeared in the west. Hearing this news, he burst into curses. Report what nonsense. You have time to run over here. Why not chase it? Go and fight it. On the other side, Lin Feng rode the ghost horse, with Chairman Yen, to provide support together. Chairman Yen exclaimed sincerely, this ghost horse is so cool to ride. Lin Feng didn't say much. He just reminded her, hold on tight. It's very fast. Yan's face flushed. She proactively put her arm around Lin Feng's waist. As they ran a distance, a prompt suddenly appeared on their identity cards. The S-class evil spirit that broke in was not far away, to their right. Lin Feng, with his sharp eyesight, looked. He found it was the one that escaped from the western front line. He told Chairman Yun about the one I mentioned, the white paper figure that escaped. For Chairman Yun, this is fantastic news. This evil spirit and Xiaobai shared the same origin. By absorbing it, Xiao Bai can level up. However, it's very good at escaping. Lin Feng asked President Yen to lure it over. Xiao Bai can devour it, but it can also devour Xiao Bai. Xiao Bai's aura is extremely attractive to it. He licked his lips, then leaped and chased after it. It didn't get far before. It was enveloped by Xuanhua's ghost domain. Xiao Bai hid within Xuanhua's ghost domain. Now it has nowhere to escape. Tong Tong silently appeared behind Baisha. When Baisha saw Tong Tong, she had already entered mutation mode, raising her knife to strike. If she had been prepared earlier, it could still contend with Tong Tong. But now, I'm trapped. Suppressed by Xuanhua's ghost domain. And then Tong Tong caught me completely off guard. I was instantly reduced to ashes in Tong Tong's blade light. Xiao Bai wasn't willing to waste a single bit. He gathered all the ashes. This is my chance to level up. President Yen saw it all. She was shocked. So everything that guy said before was true. A strange mirror suddenly appeared in the sky. The many ghost masters on the city walls were all astonished. What on earth is that? Before it, even S-class spirits seemed so insignificant. The Lord of Luqing City immediately recognized it. This guy's abilities must be very special. Warn everyone to be careful. The detectors on the ID cards show that the detection results for this evil spirit have turned to 7, orange. On the reflective surfaces of all buildings in Luqing, the image of this evil spirit is appearing, even in the river. On car windows, any reflective surface. They're all projecting his image. This ghost tide, it's been lurking. Now it has successfully ascended to an abyssal-level evil spirit. Lin Feng and President Yen received the news at this time. For S-class evil spirits suddenly appeared in the South 1 defense zone. Urgent need for support. When Lin Feng looked at his identity card, he found that one of the detection results had turned orange. The head of the research institute immediately realized the seriousness of the situation. Currently, in all of Luqing, there are no ghost masters with the strength to match it. In other words, its level surpasses everyone else's. After receiving the news, the head of the research institute and Lin Feng rushed there at full speed. They arrived at Fortress 73 shortly after. The Lord of Luqing shared his speculation with the two. This ghost mirror had never participated in any battles before, but now it's evolved. In other words, it's gaining experience from other evil spirits. It's highly likely that it's the commander of this ghost tide. Then it's the key to breaking the deadlock. President Yun's brow furrowed. But as an abyssal level, why hasn't it deployed its ghost domain yet? The Lord of Lu City sighed. Because the entire Luqing has already been covered by its ghost domain. Yen was stunned. How could this be? Then she didn't finish her sentence. Because she herself didn't want to think about that. The city lord also had a worried look on his face. It's too late to retreat. If it wants to kill all the ordinary people in the city, it might only take a few minutes. But it's not without hope. Zhai Gang's advanced techniques. With my strength, I can still hold it off. The abyssal realm of the first tier. Logically speaking, it should only cover most of the inner city of Luqing. But the ghost mirror directly encompasses the entire Luqing within its range. This range is too absurd. So I guess, its other abilities must be relatively weak, its destructive power, thus achieving balance. What you need to do is help me find its weakness. Lin Feng and Chairman Yen readily agreed. Lin Feng rode Ghost Horse towards the 3 S-class evil spirits approaching from the west. Chairman Yan's target was the S-class one on the east. Looking at the 3 S-class spirits before him, Lin Feng thought, considering Tong Tong and Xuanhua's combat prowess, it shouldn't be too difficult. But the next second, 3 became 76. Lin Feng didn't even blink. Right under Lin Feng's eyes, it increased 7-fold. Could this be the special ability of that ghost mirror? If the ghost mirror's ability is an illusion of mirroring, then we need to find the source. Chairwoman Yen asked Xiaohua to go up first to test it. When 3 ghost realms collided, President Yun discovered that both were actually. The events unfolded beyond President Yun's comprehension once more. How is this possible? Other ghost masters also reported a surge in the number of ghosts, completely overwhelming them. For a moment, they couldn't find a better solution. President Yen can only request the exorcists of Luqing to fully support the southern front. However, President Yen firmly believes that the abilities displayed by this ghost mirror are far beyond comprehension, and that there must be some flaw. Lin Feng, after listening, was unconvinced. Looking for flaws? Just use Sha Guang, won't it be fine? Xianhua and Lin Feng cooperated tacitly. He deployed his super ghost domain. He collected all 6 ghost spirits in front of him. Completely. Tongtong's figure flashed past. He directly tore apart a large eyeball. Strangely, there was only experience reward. Nothing else. Xuanhua's red silk threads danced. The other large eyeball had no power to resist. It followed the first one to its demise. A system message arrived. Obtained ghost spirit pill. Obtained 2 ghost realm fragments. Dominance +2. It seems this was the main body. Then, next, there's one more thing we need to verify. Tong Tong, open your ghost eye. See if you can identify the true form. Let's see the true form first. Tong Tong opened the vertical eye between her eyebrows. The scene in her eyes changed. The two evil spirits, which were almost indistinguishable before, were exposed under Tong Tong's ghost eye. She directly attacked the main body. Tong Tong's fighting power far surpasses her own level. She easily subdued the S-class evil spirit, her equal. After the main body perished, the mirror image also disappeared. On President Yan's side, the situation isn't so good. Xiaohua leans toward support. After restraining an evil spirit with my own abilities, I didn't manage to block another's attack. Luckily, Xiao Bai intervened in time. After absorbing the paper figure by Xiao, his combat strength is far superior to before, and it just so happened to strike the main body. The battle here finally ended. The Onmyoji on the city walls applauded. Lin Feng and his team are incredibly strong. They've already eliminated 7 S-class. But then they noticed. Lord Lu Cheng was coughing up blood. His ghost domain is about to collapse. The Onmyoji hurriedly called for help from Lin Feng and President Yan. The city lord's ghost domain is becoming visible. Please come immediately. Lin Feng's ghostly speed was incredibly fast. He was the first to arrive in the city lord's ghost realm. This place had been completely transformed into a mirrored world. Several ghost spirits were battling in the arena. Upon closer inspection, they all looked like the city lord's ghost spirits. Lin Feng suddenly realized something was wrong. He immediately turned to look at Xianhua and Tong Tong. His worry was not unfounded. Xianhua and Tong Tong were each duplicated twice as well. The mayor's warning came too late. Careful, the ghost mirror can duplicate any ghost spirit, including their special abilities. Lin Feng understood. It seems this ghost mirror doesn't directly attack. Instead, it uses this method to eliminate its enemies. It's come to this, we can only fight. But Lin Feng specifically reminded, not to use special abilities, to avoid being copied over. Considering the effect of Gue Ma on the ghost domain, Lin Feng put it away. If it were copied over, the city lord's ghost domain would be in trouble. At the same time, Lin Feng also remembered to remind Yan, the chairperson, there's a trap here. Figure out the pattern first, then let her in. Then, Lin Feng directly made Xianhua and Tong Tong fight. Tong Tong disappeared in a flash, easily solving one of her own reflections. Yinghua quickly joined the battle. The 4 reflections vanished in an instant. The city lord watched, his face still filled with worry, because he knew, this was only the beginning. Sure enough, the second wave arrived. This Xianhua mirror image also carried a ghost weapon. When the image and the original clashed, the ghost weapon on the image cracked instantly upon impact. Xianhua swung her sword again. The mirrored ghost weapon shattered. Xuanhua's golden ghost sword continued unabated, cleaving the mirror image in two. Lin Feng silently analyzed in his heart. The second attempt was much closer in strength. However, the ghost weapon couldn't perfectly replicate. But if it could replicate infinitely, my ghostly energy will be depleted soon. How on earth can I break this deadlock? With a powerful punch, the city lord's ghostly spirit can barely withstand the mirror image. The ghostly realm is crumbling. It's on the verge of collapse, and the city lord's face is grim. I'm almost at my limit. Lin Feng quickly told Xianhua to deploy a ghostly realm of the same scope. After Xuanhua's ghostly realm deployed, it's also covered in 7 layers of mirror surface. In other words, here, the mirror ghost can also summon mirror images. Sure enough, Lin Feng turned around, and the mirror images of Tong Tong and Xianhua appeared behind him again. Lin Feng gritted his teeth, and ordered Tong Tong to enter a mutated state, and Xianhua to use ghost fire. He wants to see just how much this mirror ghost can replicate. Tong Tong in his mutated state. Dealing with these mirror images is like chopping melons and vegetables. Xuanhua's ghost fire is also incredibly powerful. After several battles, Lin Feng has figured something out. The interval between each replication is getting longer. It seems the drain on the mirror ghost is significant, and such a complex battle, it must be nearby, to be able to manipulate. In the time Lin Feng was thinking, the mirror ghost also made a desperate move. It directly created 8 duplicate mirror images. Lin Feng remained calm. Tong Tong and Xianhua, full-scale attack. Xian, that is Tong Tong, summoned his golden phantom. Xianhua made a sword finger gesture. Ghost fire rose from his fingertips. The city lord was startled. This kid. Where did he get such powerful ghost spirits? So many different forms. To quickly resolve the battle with Zhandan, Xuanhua's red threads danced, entangling all the mirror images. Tong Tong gathers power for a devastating blow, an unstoppable offensive, sweeping away all 7 mirror images. The aftershock hits the ground. Another earth-shattering tremor. The ground cracks like a spiderweb. Xianhua sees that Tong Tong no longer needs help. Turn around and release the ghost fire. Destroy the mirror image of the city lord's ghost spirit together. The battle isn't over yet. Lin Feng said to Tong Tong, use your ghost eye to find the true body of the ghost mirror. Tong Tong opened the vertical eye on her forehead. The world changed in her eyes. A world of black and white. The faint green light is especially noticeable. So this is the ghost mirror's true form. Tong Tong is about to attack. The ghost mirror keenly senses the danger. It transforms into a streak of light and flees. The entire ghost realm has been mirrored by it. It can escape anywhere. Lin Feng, a mere mortal, can't even touch its tail. But it just happened to encounter Xianhua and Lin Feng, this particular pair. Xianhua already possessed an extremely special double ghost domain, and Lin Feng relentlessly fed it ghost domain fragments. Faced with the mirror ghost's unreasonable tactics, Lin Feng enabled Xianhua to open a second ghost domain. The second ghost domain gradually covered the first ghost domain inch by inch. The mirroring effect of the ghost domain also gradually disintegrated. There's no mirror surface left. The mirror ghost has nowhere to hide. It's been forced to reveal its true form. Before, the mirror images protected it, giving the mirror ghost time to cover its ghost domain with mirrors. But now, all the mirror images have been destroyed by the sand light. The mirror ghost has nowhere to escape. It's trapped within its own ghost domain. Xianhua has absolute dominance. She moves rapidly. She arrives behind the seventh mirror ghost. The ghost sword in her hand is raised high. The mirror ghost realizes all this. But combat is not its strong suit. It can only watch helplessly as the ghost sword slices through its body. Thus, it perishes. The mirror ghost's vessel fell from the sky. A system message arrived. Battle victory. Obtained ghost domain shard X2. Ghost mirror X1. Lin Feng asked Xianhua to close ghost domain 7. He reached out to catch the falling ghost mirror. He thought to himself, this guy really does give out experience points. In this short time, he gained over 20,000. President Yen saw the ghost realm dissipate. She hurried over, but she found Lin Feng holding the ghost mirror. She asked in disbelief, could it be? The mirror ghost is already gone. The city lord of Luqing laughed aloud beside her. That's right, that's right. This time, we truly owe it all to Lin Feng. We were able to achieve victory thanks to him. An unknown Onmyoji excitedly said. Look. The ghost tide is receding. The crisis of Liuqing's destruction has been averted. Lin Feng's glorious deeds quickly spread. After all, this matter involved too much. He, returning in triumph, was seen as a hero by everyone. Lin Feng's biological mother. Listen to the name cheered by the crowd. My mind is racing. If I hadn't abandoned him back then, what would things be like now? The child she was carrying asked. Mom, do you know that older brother? She knew she no longer had the right to be Lin Feng's family. She replied, no, I don't. Be a good child, remember. Lin Feng saved our lives. We must repay him properly when we have the chance. The little boy nodded with unwavering determination. Yes, although the ghost tide has retreated, the city's reconstruction is still a considerable undertaking. The Lord of Luqing immediately prepared to assign tasks. Lin Feng stopped him. As for this ghost mirror, he was interrupted before he could finish. Keep it. You deserve it for your contribution to this battle. It's yours. There's a victory banquet tonight. I hope you'll definitely come. Lin Feng wanted to refuse. President Yen put her arm around his shoulder from behind. She agreed for him. City reconstruction work was proceeding smoothly. President Yen walked around for a long time, but couldn't find Lin Feng. Finally, she discovered. He was sitting alone in a high place, lost in thought. Lin Feng's thoughts were written all over his face. Without deliberately concealing it, President Yen sat down beside him, talking to herself. What's wrong? You seem troubled. Tell your sister. Lin Feng's eyes held a hint of confusion. He voiced his thoughts. From a young age, my biggest motivation has been to climb to the top. To make those who look down on me regret it. But I found out. They'd long forgotten me. Of course, they never really accepted me either. In the end, I'm still alone. After listening to the boy's troubles, President Yun smiled brightly. The people you cherish, aren't they always by your side? Your spirits have silently accompanied you for 15 years. Although they can't speak back, they silently accompany us. They shouldn't just be tools for battle. The bond between Onmyoji and spirits is clearly that of inseparable partners. So, don't say you're alone anymore. What's more, you have me. I'm counting on you to protect me in the future, and help me rise to the top. This was the first message Lu Ru received from Lin Feng since he left Haicheng. A maid rushed in. Miss, something terrible has happened. Lu Ru turned her head curiously. What is it? The woman quickly waved her hands, saying, Lin Feng, it's Lin Feng. The story of how he single-handedly repelled the ghost tide has already spread to High City. What? Lu Ru took the identity card from the maid. Looking at the message displayed on it, she couldn't help but exclaim. His growth rate is too astonishing. He actually already defeated the abyssal level. Ji also echoed from the side. Yeah, and he's handsome and young. He's a perfect match for the young lady. Lu Ru looked at the message and fell into deep thought. Such a genius. If I don't seize this opportunity now, it's very likely it's gone forever. The maid cheered her up. Miss, don't worry. Even without mentioning your stunning beauty, even the status of being the Sea City Lord's husband would make even a top-tier ghost exorcist's heart flutter. But Lu Ru thought again, and blushed, covering her face. He's still just a 15-year-old boy. Maybe you haven't thought about those things. An older man dating a younger woman, it's quite embarrassing. Seeing my young lady a little shy, she can't bring herself to face it. The maid reminded her again. By the way, those few families in Haicheng have been competing fiercely. If they knew that Miss chose Lin Feng, wouldn't they act against him? They dare. Lu Ru regained her usual composure. Send people to watch over him, in case Lin Feng encounters danger. Reinforcements from Haicheng to Lucheng are on their way. Xiao Zhan, a Disha-level ghost master, couldn't help but wonder, what's going on? There haven't been any ghosts along the way. Could Lucheng already be conquered? All the ghosts are in the city. S-class ghost master. General Yang Bai of Haicheng military responded. Chairman, I just saw the news. They seem to be saying, the ghost tide has been repelled. A ghost master on the side picked up the conversation, saying it was someone called Lin Feng, who defeated an abyssal level. This victory. In the evening, Lin Feng followed President Yen to the banquet. This was his first time attending such a high-profile event. After entering, he curiously looked around. After Elder Fei saw Lin Feng, he immediately stepped forward and gave him a bear hug. He not only saved his life, but also saved the entire Lucheng. Learning that this young man was Lin Feng, Xiao Zhan and Yang Bai also stepped forward to greet him. Elder Fei briefly introduced them to Lin Feng. Hearing about Lin Feng's performance, they were also quite impressed. They actively sought to befriend Lin Feng. Yang Bai even specifically reminded Lin Feng about the matter of the third miss choosing him as her husband, which had already spread. It's best not to go to Haicheng recently. Lin Feng fell silent after listening. Do those candidates think I'm in their way, wanting to get rid of me? No, I haven't even agreed yet. It's already been decided. The banquet officially begins. The Lord of Lucheng was the first to stand. This celebratory banquet stars Lin Feng. He single-handedly saved Lucheng. I announce a reward of 10 billion contribution points as recognition. In addition, there's also a luxurious mansion and villa, fully furnished, and the opportunity to choose 3 ghost artifacts from the Ghost Artifact Warehouse. He will also be bestowed the title of Lucheng Protector. The award ceremony is complete. Everyone stood up together to celebrate Lin Feng. They were also sincerely grateful to Lin Feng. At the end of the banquet, Lin Feng was completely drunk. He was supported by President Yen. This was the first time he had drunk so much. But when the two arrived at President Yen's door, the situation was reversed. President Yen was quite unsteady, a little dizzy. Lin Feng, on the other hand, due to his strong physique, had already sobered up. Lin Feng really had a hard time helping President Yen to bed. I was just about to leave, but President Yen grabbed my arm. President Yen pulled slightly, and pulled Lin Feng closer. Then she put her arms around Lin Feng's neck, and asked him to taste the imported lipstick. Lin Feng's mind went blank for a moment. He let President Yen do as she pleased. After the kiss, President Yen smiled charmingly. Alright, this is a reward for my great hero. Why aren't you blushing at all? Don't you like it? Before she could finish her sentence, President Yen's eyes widened, because Lin Feng got carried away. He held down President Yen's hands and pounced on her. Sure enough, boys are naturally gifted in this aspect. After a deep kiss, Lin Feng began to explore lower. President Yen called out to Lin Feng, wanting him to stop, but her body offered no resistance. That night, every moment was precious. The next day, Lin Feng woke up in President Yan's bed. When he got up, I found breakfast already laid out on the table. President Yan was drinking coffee nearby. Lin Feng looked at the breakfast and asked, Xianhua made breakfast again, right? President Yan didn't look at Lin Feng. She seemed to be lost in thought, but she still answered the question. I woke up too early and had nothing to do. I just made a couple of dishes. You eat. Lin happily sat down, eager to try CEO Yan's cooking. With his first bite, his face turned green, but when CEO Yan asked how the food tasted, Lin Feng still forced himself to say, despite his nausea, it's delicious. He didn't want to start a fight so early in the morning. He ate 7 servings. Lin Feng hesitated, stammering as he began to speak. Actually. President Yen turned her head, not looking at him. She said, alright, I still have a business trip to West City. Lock the door when you leave. Having said that, she decisively pushed the door open and left. After going out, a blush quickly spread across her cheeks. So embarrassing. That bad younger brother actually did that to me. Jian Cha felt too ashamed to see anyone. Lin Feng sighed helplessly. He actually just wanted to ask if there was any water. He was nearly parched. After eating breakfast, Lin Feng rode the ghost horse to West Gate 7. He prepared to continue tracking the third ghost spirit of Ji Zhao Temple. He handed the letter tainted with ghost energy to Xianhua, wanting her to try if she could still locate the direction of the ghost energy. Xianhua shook her head helplessly. It's been a while since she received the letter. Most of the ghost energy on it has dissipated. I thought this matter was going to fall through. Lin Feng suddenly thought of Zhua Hui's expertise. She's good at tracking. With Gue Ma around, a trip to Haicheng wouldn't be troublesome. Thus, Lin Feng immediately set off for Haicheng. Upon arriving in Haicheng, Lin Feng immediately found Chairman Zhua. Chairman Zhua, I've come to ask for your help. President Zhua readily agreed. This is a good thing for him. Lin Feng's favor will be invaluable in the future. Seeing President Zhua's consent, Lin Feng spoke, this time seeking the help of the president's two skilled individuals. He hoped they could help track down a mischievous spirit. The two girls, upon hearing this, were secretly delighted. His face involuntarily flushed. Lin Feng didn't notice their expressions. He took out the letter tainted with ghost energy and handed it to Zhuyu. Zhuyu carefully took it. She used her ghost spirit doll to sense it. After a while, the doll in Zhuyu's hand pointed in a direction. Zhuyu spoke. The sensing was rather vague. However, the general direction could be confirmed. That's wonderful. Lin Feng, overjoyed, blurted out. Addressing President Zhua, could I borrow Zhuyu for a few days? President Zhua adjusted his glasses, silent for a moment, thinking, borrow her for a few days? And then return me a child 10 months later. He watched President Zhua's fluctuating expression. Lin Feng realized he had misspoken. He quickly explained, I want to ask Zhuyu to track this ghost with me. I will definitely protect her. With Lin Feng, her safety is indeed not a concern. The main worry is that a good girl might be taken advantage of. After much deliberation, Chairman Zhua said it still depends on my daughter's decision. Zhuayuka was overjoyed. She hurriedly said, Dad, I'm willing. She wasn't just willing, she even took the initiative to help. She called her older sister, Zhuyu, to join in. Chairman Zhua looked helpless. I can only agree, I haven't even gotten the girl yet. She sent herself over. It's even a buy one get one deal. If it doesn't work out, then forget it. Finally, Zhuoling and Zhuyu personally saw Lin Feng to the door. They made an appointment to meet again tomorrow. Lin Feng was about to turn and leave, when he was bumped into by someone. When the person in his arms looked up at Lin Feng was stunned. Wasn't this Miss Lu Ru, the third young lady of Haicheng? As soon as Lu Ru saw Lin Feng, she felt shy about her own idea of an older man dating a younger woman. She stammered, my father wants to see you. He hopes you can come to the city lord's mansion with me. There are some things he wants to discuss with you personally. It just so happened that Lin Feng also wanted to inquire about Jizhao Temple. He readily agreed. On the way to the city lord's mansion, Lu Ru seemed much more relaxed than before. Even though there was so much space in the back seat of the carriage, she insisted on sitting next to Lin Feng. Lin Feng, who was tall, felt a little uncomfortable. The carriage drove for quite a while. The two finally arrived at the city lord's mansion. High City's city lord, Lu Yunxiao, personally came out to greet them. Looking at Lin Feng's handsome appearance, and recalling his glorious deeds, Lu Yunxiao admired him more and more. He seemed to have already decided that this was his son-in-law. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, Lu Yunxiao led the way. Tell Lin Feng to follow. Show him something. Lin Feng was actually a little puzzled. Seeing Lu Yunxiao looking so strong and healthy, he wondered how it could be said that he only had 5 years to live. After the three arrived at their destination, a square building slowly rose up. Lu Yunxiao opened the door. The interior of the building was filled with a golden glow. After entering, Lin Feng realized that Lu Ru had never been here either. She asked Lu Yunxiao, where is this? Lu Yunxiao didn't explain, but said, you'll find out soon enough. After he spoke, Lin Feng felt herself beginning to descend. So this is an elevator. 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. The elevator kept descending. I don't know how long it's been. Lin Feng only knew that he was already very deep underground. Finally, the elevator reached the bottom. After the elevator doors opened, what I saw was still a sea of gold. This is Haicheng's golden vault. Lin Feng and Lu Ru curiously looked around. Lu Yunxiao continued to explain. This is a vault that only the city lord can use. It stores some special ghosts. Lin Feng reflexively spoke. Isn't this very similar to the Ghost Master Alliance's Yellow Springs prison? Lu Yunxiao retorted. It should be said that the Golden Prison is very similar to this place. This secret chamber was built by my father 80 years ago. Back then, my father, as the leader of Haicheng, personally experienced the bizarre resurgence. In a short time, communication was cut off across the land. Haicheng's population decreased by 99%. Thanks to the shelters he built, the righteous were able to survive. He also cultivated the first generation of spirit-controlling exorcists, including himself. This gave us the strength to fight against evil spirits. This also made Haicheng one of the few cities that survived the strange resurgence. Back then, exorcists could only forcefully control evil spirits with their own talent. Therefore, they often don't live long. Many ghost masters have suffered backlash from malevolent spirits. So, my father built this secret room to confine dying ghost masters. Shortly after I was born, he himself also entered one, and never came out. Later, I inherited my father's will. Continue expanding the defenses. We also discovered a method for creating benevolent spirits. This led to the Haicheng of today, and the renowned Huangquan prison is a branch established by the Ghost Master Alliance, imitating what we built. Having said that, Lu Yunxiao took Lu Ru and Lin Feng on a tour. These are the newly acquired ghost spirits, blind yet able to perceive space, using sound waves to kill, and can mimic anyone's voice. As for this one here, Lu Yunxiao turned his head, his expression somewhat heavy, and spoke. He's special. To humans other than the host, as long as they see it, it'll hiss. Lin Feng was startled. He looked and it hissed. This is too amazing. So how did you contain it? Because this ghost. Many on-duty Onmyoji watching the monitors died unnatural deaths. We originally planned to just eliminate this ghost. But later, we developed 7 golden boxes that absorb ghosts. Gon decided to completely seal it in a secret room, then lock it in a box. After a tour, Lu Yunxiao had the 2 of them sit down. As you can see, many powerful ghosts are imprisoned here. They are a force capable of destroying Haicheng. However, if one day humans launch a war, they will become Haicheng's guardians. Lu Ru was a little puzzled. Launch a war, you mean humanity fighting itself? Lu Yunxiao explained. What's so strange about that? Throughout history, in times of crisis, humanity can unite as one. Once peace returns, they'll have time to start fighting amongst themselves. Even the strange resurgence 100 years ago. There are also legends that it was caused by a major power's creation of biochemical weapons. So, you see, humans often are a self-destructive species. Lin Feng wanted to retort. Thinking about it carefully, it's indeed the case. Unnecessarily causing trouble. Almost dead, yet begging for life. A vicious cycle. Humanity truly can't withstand the test. Then, Lu Yunxiao changed the subject. Lin Feng, during this time, I've been keeping an eye on you. Lin Feng was startled. Why are you bringing me into this? Keeping an eye on me for what? Lu Yunxiao continued. I've seen all kinds of talented ghost masters, most of whom are just fleeting moments of brilliance. Some will stop at nothing for higher-level spirits. Not only do they risk their own lives, but they also easily drag an entire city down with them. But you are different. Although you are young, you are calm, responsible, and dependable. You are also the most outstanding person I've ever met. Therefore, Xiaoru's proposal, how did you consider it? Hearing this sentence, Lu Ru sprayed out the tea she had just drunk. After all this beating around the bush, the point is here. Lin Feng felt embarrassed. He's only 15. Why is he so eager to get married? He quickly waved his hands. That's something so far off. I haven't considered it yet. Lu Yunxiao laughed heartily. I know. You don't want to be a son-in-law, right? These past few days, I've given it some thought. I'm preparing to change plans. Within 5 years, if you can become a D-Sha level ghost master, and I'm willing to marry Xiaoru, I can gift you the rarest ghost spirit, to help you become a heavenly gang level ghost master. The previous offers were alright, but his next words left Lin Feng speechless. Lu Yunxiao said, at that time, you will become the city lord of Haicheng. Lu Ru was also momentarily stunned. What? Father, do you know what you're saying? You're going to give Haicheng directly to Lin Feng. Looking at the excited Lu Ru, Lu Yunxiao raised his hand and said, don't rush. Listen to me, you are our family's only spiritual medium. Okay, A-class. My body isn't what it used to be. It'll be hard for me to last until you're grown. Lu Yunxiao continued, head bowed. All these years, Haicheng has been cultivating its own Onmyoji. We've also abided by the agreement with the Onmyoji Alliance. But I know, many people are wary of Haicheng's army, the Ghost Master Alliance, Haicheng's major families, and some unsavory underground forces, are all eyeing the position of Haicheng's city lord. If I die, and no strong leader commands Haicheng, a power struggle will plunge millions of Haicheng citizens into war. Hearing this, Lu Ru ashamedly lowered her head. When she learned that her father was going to give Haicheng to Lin Feng, Lu Ru found it hard to believe. After hearing her father's explanation, she could only blame herself for not being strong enough. Lin Feng also admitted that Lu Yunxiao's logic was not wrong, but Lin Feng didn't intend to be responsible for the safety of the people of Haicheng. He only needed to level up his system. I don't need anyone's help. He didn't agree to Lu Yunxiao's request. Instead, he asked, why then? Don't you help Miss Lu become a D-Sha level ghost master? Lu Ru wanted to retort. Do you think everyone is as perverted as you? But Lu Yunxiao spoke up. Lin Feng can grow this fast. Maybe you can do it too. Xiaoru, come on, give it a try. Lu Ru could only obediently comply. Having received her father's affirmation, she gained a little more confidence in herself. Although the deal wasn't made, Lu Yunxiao still hoped that Lin Feng would look after the Lu family in the future. Lin Feng also stated, I won't tell anyone what I saw today. As I was about to leave, Lin Feng remembered the main purpose of his visit to the city lord's mansion. Right, city lord, I have something to ask you. Have you ever heard of the Jizhao Temple? Jizhao Temple? Lu Yunxiao found the name incredibly familiar. I can't quite recall it at the moment. As his memories surfaced, he finally picked up the memory fragment. A bolt of lightning flashed through his mind. That wasn't 50 years ago, the nunnery that was wiped out by ghosts. In his impression, Jizhao Nunnery was a historically significant nunnery. After the resurgence of the paranormal, It cultivated many powerful ghost masters. But they only accepted women. They don't interact with the outside world. So, I felt they were somewhat mysterious. 50 years ago, when I traveled north, I suddenly sensed a terrifying demonic aura emanating from outside the city. Later I learned that it was a battle that took place at the Jizhao temple. It is said that a powerful evil spirit went out of control, and wiped out the entire Jizhao temple, reduced to ruins. Lin Feng hadn't expected that this Jizhao temple actually existed. He continued to ask, what happened afterwards? No one went back. Lu Yunxiao replied, yes, that powerful evil spirit didn't appear either. Perhaps it's still at Jizhao temple. Hundreds of wronged souls still linger there. Who dares to approach? Then there was no further news. After understanding the situation, Lin Feng bid farewell to Lu Yunxiao. The next day, Lin Feng arrived at President Chua's home. President Chua repeatedly instructed him to take good care of his daughter. Lin Feng guaranteed he would bring them back safe and sound. Then he mounted his horse. He extended a hand to the two sisters. Get on. This made Zhuoling and Zhuoyu overjoyed. They had wanted to ride ghost horses for a long time. Of course, more importantly, it was because they were about to leave with Lin Feng. Chairman Zhua, the old father, is heartbroken and distressed. His own cabbages, why are they so eager to throw themselves away? His two daughters didn't notice Chairman Zhua's feelings at all. They happily waved goodbye to him. This 15-year-old boy studied biology with the president of the Luqing Ghost Exorcist Association. For a whole night 2 days ago, I was invited to the city lord's mansion in Haicheng again yesterday, to discuss my marriage with Miss Lu Ru, the third daughter of Haicheng. Today, I went to Guildmaster Zhua's door again, and borrowed 2 of Guildmaster Zhua's heart-shaped dolls. The 3 of us rode on the ghost horse. Lin Feng asked Zhuoyu, the direction you sensed shouldn't have changed, right? Zhuoyu looked at the doll in her hand. He raised a finger, pointing in a direction. Zhuoyu replied, that's right. Still in the northwest. Lin Feng responded, okay, but in his heart, he was thinking, if the Haicheng city lord is correct, then the ghost that annihilated the Jizhao temple must be incredibly powerful. I need to level up first. Speaking of upgrades, Lin Feng remembered that last time Tong Tong upgraded, he still had 2 unused lottery chances. Lin Feng summoned the lottery interface. After a series of actions, he won the abilities of 7x Fatal Damage Transfer and Mind Link. The Fatal Damage Transfer ability is, when the host receives fatal damage, automatically transferred to the spirit. If the damage is ineffective against the spirit, then the host will not be harmed. The spirit will also not be harmed. If it's effective against the spirit, then it will be shared by all the host spirits. This reminded Lin Feng of when he was attacked at the ranking tournament. With this ability, I don't have to worry at all. It's truly a life-saving skill. The Mind Link ability is, when facing opponents with mental attacks, the host can link their consciousness with their spirit. Spiritual power merges. Overall, mental resistance is enhanced, both the host and the spirit. He could also subtly understand the other party's meaning. Lin Feng was on his way to Jizhao Temple. The ghost postman had arrived there before him. He still had his trademark smile on his face. Arriving at the entrance of Jizhao Temple, he slammed on the brakes, stopping his steps. He cautiously probed the edges of Jizhao Temple. After finding no problems, he dared to go in. After entering Jizhao Temple, he easily found the little pink umbrella. The little pink umbrella, he didn't know how to operate it, but it produced a letter, slowly floating towards the ghost postman. After the ghost postman received the letter, then he happily ran off. But right after the ghost postman left, the floating pink umbrella began to spin rapidly. Above the barrier of Jizhao Temple, because of the pink umbrella's movements, ghostly markings began to appear. On the mountain in another direction, countless paper umbrellas seemed to sense something. They converged towards Jizhao Temple. Leading the way was an orange umbrella. After arriving above Jizhao Temple, all the paper umbrellas opened simultaneously, floating in midair. They subsequently formed a gigantic umbrella. It enveloped the entire Jizhao Temple. The Jizhao Temple's barrier and the paper umbrellas violently collided. With a loud bang, Jiaozhao Temple's boundary remained undisturbed. Instead, those paper umbrellas that had launched an attack, turned into ashes and scattered in the wind. Lin Feng knew nothing of all this. Lin Feng still didn't know that in a canyon along his path, 3 Onmyoji had been lying in wait. The Onmyoji, holding a sniper rifle, said proudly, "My marksmanship in stealth is the best in Haicheng. No one can escape." Soon, Lin Feng arrived at the canyon with Zhuoling and Zhuoyu. The beautiful scenery before them was something they had never seen before. They couldn't help but stop. Zhuoyu also spoke at this time. "We've been traveling for so long. I'm a little tired." Lin Feng planned to find a place to rest after passing this gorge. The Onmyoji responsible for observing Lin Feng's condition immediately discovered Lin Feng. Nying said confidently, "Leave it to me. Lin Feng's time is up." The crosshairs on his sniper rifle were already aimed at the back of Lin Feng's head. With a bang, a gunshot rang out. The bullet shot towards Lin Feng at a speed invisible to the naked eye. This kind of power, even a top-tier ghost master would find it difficult to withstand. A preemptive strike. By the time Lin Feng noticed anything, the bullet reached Qi. Without any obstruction, the bullet pierced Lin Feng's body. A system prompt appeared. Damage transfer triggered. The bullet that should have killed Lin Feng. The damage was completely transferred to Tong Tong and Xianhua. Tong Tong and Xianhua instantly appeared. Although the physical damage from the bullets is ineffective against them, Lin Feng's life is already threatened. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu, the two sisters, anxiously watched Lin Feng. They did indeed hear 7 gunshots. Lin Feng replied, "I'm fine." The bullet passed right through him. It landed in Lin Feng's hand. Luckily, before setting off, he drew the Wu Hai transfer item. Otherwise, the consequences are unpredictable. Nying held the sniper rifle. His remaining eye was filled with disbelief. I clearly hit him. How is it possible that he's unharmed? Lin Feng looked towards where the bullet came from. He learned the assassin's location, and it just so happened to be on his necessary path, intercepting the assassin. Someone must be cooperating. Their identity is probably not simple. What if there's a high-level onmyoji among them? That would be troublesome. Lin Feng rode his ghost horse and ran away. He needed to reach open terrain first. At the same time, he let Xuanhua's ghost domain manifest. The onmyoji from Li Fu saw that Lin Feng was unharmed. I was originally shocked. What shocked them even more was that Lin Feng dared to appear outside the ghost domain at this time. This was clearly a sign of contempt for them. Inside the ghost domain, Lin Feng dismounted. He helped Zhuoling and Zhuoyu down as well. He thought to himself, the news of him becoming an S-class is already known to everyone. He still dared to come at this time. It shows that they have a way to deal with S-class onmyoji. Lin Feng guessed correctly. Among those who ambushed him, there's one named Li Qing, a first-rank Earth Fiend onmyoji. He's heading straight for Lin Feng. But Lin Feng has his own plans. He's gambling that these people will, before entering Xuanhua's ghost domain. He can't summon his own ghost. It was just as Lin Feng had expected. Before entering, the younger ghost master was still asking, "Uncle Li, do we really not need to summon a ghost?" Li Qing answered confidently, "That Lin Feng, that audacious brat, thinks he can challenge me with a little bit of skill. No need to summon a ghost, to prevent giving him a chance." After entering the courtyard, Li Qing said arrogantly, "What? Don't you dare come out. This is the way a famous person receives guests." Lin Feng rode ahead alone, followed by Zhuoling and Zhuoyu. He responded loudly, "Lin Feng is here. We've been waiting for you." Zhuoling saw the man's face clearly. She whispered to Lin Feng, "He's Li Qing from Haicheng, a D-Sha-level ghost master. He controls 3 ghost spirits." Seeing Lin Feng's calm demeanor in the face of danger, Li Qing was quite impressed. It's a pity, but Lin Feng marrying Lu Ru is impossible. He's blocked someone else's path. He can only suffer the consequences. Lin Feng smiled calmly. "So, you think you'll definitely win?" Li Qing clasped his hands. He said confidently, "Of course, if you had run away at the first opportunity, there's still a glimmer of hope. But now, it's too late." Zhuoyu worried about Lin Feng, naively asked elderly, why he attacked Lin Feng. Was there some misunderstanding? Li Qing laughed. "This naive girl, originally, out of respect for Chairman Zhua, I didn't want to hurt them, but given the current situation, I have no choice but to eliminate them both as well. Attack." Li Qing gave the order. The two simultaneously produced their spirit familiars tokens, and began summoning their spirit familiars. But the unfolding situation left Li Qing drenched in sweat. No matter how he tried, the ghost summoning artifact remained unresponsive. Lin Feng's lips curled into a smirk. "Did you discover that you can't summon a ghost at all?" The two were still in shock. Xianhua had already come up behind them. Shock turned into deep fear. They are now utterly powerless to resist. Without the slightest hesitation, they didn't need Lin Feng's orders. Xianhua swiftly and decisively left them to remain here forever. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu's eyes widened. Chairman Zhua had protected his 2 daughters very well. This was the first time they had witnessed humans slaughtering each other. Lin Feng had no choice but to explain. "If I don't make the first move, they'll seize any opportunity, and I'll be the one who suffers." Having said that, he mounted his horse, and left with Zhuoling and Zhuoyu. There were more than just those two pursuing them. This place was not safe to stay. By the time Nying arrived, he found that Li Qing was already dead. In just these few minutes, could it be that Lin Feng has already reached the Earth Fiend level? Nying secretly guessed. "No, I must report to the young master as soon as possible." Soon, the 3 of them arrived at the ruins of an city. This was once a prosperous city. Now, only ruins remain. As for how to rest, Lin Feng instructed Tong Tong to take action, to seize the 7th evil spirit's lair. The 3 huddled around the campfire, solving their hunger problem. Lin Feng pulled out grilled skewers and other food from his dimensional space. Zhuoling looked on with delight. "Lin Feng, how did you bring so much food? And it's still hot." Lin Feng forcibly explained the system space. As a ghost spirit treasure, he said the food inside wouldn't be affected by the passage of time, so it stays fresh. I also brought you several quilts. This series of actions greatly amazed Zhuoling, but then she suddenly remembered. Zhuoyu has been in the restroom for so long, why hasn't she come back yet? Lin Feng immediately got up to check on her. He hadn't gone far, when he heard Zhuoyu's scream. Lin Feng was no longer calm. He had promised to protect both sisters. I immediately ran as fast as I could. Arriving at the scene, I found Zhuoyu was so scared by a giant snake that her legs went weak. She couldn't stand up and weakly cried for help. Luckily, Lin Feng arrived in time. He punched the giant snake and sent it flying. After the giant snake was driven away, Zhuoyu found her strength again. She threw herself into Lin Feng's arms and sobbed softly. It's late. Lin Feng told the two sisters to go to bed quickly. They have a long journey tomorrow. Zhuoyu sat up, hesitating. After a moment's hesitation, she still spoke. She actually wanted Lin Feng to sleep inside. She was a little afraid. Lin Feng's face flushed instantly. He still nodded in agreement. Thus, Lin Feng reluctantly squeezed into the sister's bed. Zhuoyu was still worried that Lin Feng might not have enough blanket. Lin Feng thought to himself, the more the merrier. The result was that Lin Feng stayed up all night. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu slept soundly. Zhuoyu was half lying on Lin Feng. Lin Feng sighed helplessly. Girls are such restless sleepers. I have to say, the ghost charm worked wonderfully. The next morning, Lin Feng set off with Zhuoling and Zhuoyu. Whether it was cliffs or water, ghosts and spirits are as if walking on flat ground. I have already run more than 500 kilometers out of Haicheng. I climbed over another mountain. Lin Feng saw the target of this trip. The system prompt also popped up. Completed task 2. Found the location of the unknown female ghost. Unknown female ghost storyline +5. Dai's tether has reached 78. Lin Feng was the first to dismount. Then he helped Zhuoling and Zhuoyu down. Zhuoling, who had dismounted first, couldn't help but exclaim. What a magnificent array of temples. Within the Jijiao temple, shrouded in a barrier, came the familiar sound of a wooden fish. But Lin Feng felt something was amiss. Suddenly, Zhuoyu nervously patted Lin Feng. A ghost is coming. Lin Feng turned around, and lowered his guard. Because it was the ghost postman, he kicked his legs and ran very fast, raising a large cloud of dust behind him. The ghost postman delivered another letter. Xianhua, as usual, offered ghost energy as payment. Zhuoyu stared blankly at the scene before her. It was a bit beyond her comprehension. With Xuanhua's cooperation, Lin Feng used his ability to decipher ghost script. He read the contents of the letter. Help umbrella. Lin Feng thought, what does the letter mean? Are those the umbrellas fighting? The system confirmed Lin Feng's guess, triggering subquest 3. Help orange umbrella escape. Reward, unknown female ghost bond +10. Sure enough, it triggered a bond quest. Lin Feng thought, orange umbrella is most likely the third ghost spirit. And currently, the situation with the orange umbrella is not optimistic. It looks like it's about to collapse. Lin Feng immediately prepared to intervene. Zhuoling said with a worried look on her face. But I can sense that both sides are very strong. Both are above S-class. Lin Feng paused slightly. Indeed, he could also sense that both sides in the battle were not simple. Acting rashly is indeed unsettling. But then he changed his mind. There's still Xuanhua's blink. Lin Feng summoned Xianhua. He had her use her orange umbrella to blink and escape. Xianhua did not disappoint Lin Feng. She flew to the side of the orange umbrella. And with a sword finger, she began to use her ability. The red ghost realm appeared, enveloping the orange umbrella within it. After the orange umbrella disappeared, the other paper umbrellas fell one after another. When Xianhua reappeared, she was already beside Lin Feng. System prompt, the task of helping the orange umbrella escape has been completed. Unknown female ghost storyline +10. But all this, clearly wasn't that simple. Zhuoling, panicked, pointed at Jijiao temple and said, Lin Feng, look. It's moving. Lin Feng turned his head and found Jijiao temple rapidly approaching. His position had been detected. He couldn't react in time. The three of them found themselves enveloped in a purple mist. They were so disoriented they couldn't open their eyes. Dong dong asterisk. Looking up, they saw the gate of Jijiao temple. The rhythmic dong dong of the wooden fish began. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu clutched their heads in discomfort. Lin Feng felt slightly better, but only marginally so. Not only that, but with my past experiences, Lin Feng deeply understands that the wooden fish's sound has more effects than that. It can also manipulate other spirits. Fortunately, Lin Feng mastered the mind link. It's just in time to be useful now. Lin Feng's spiritual power formed chains, linking to Tong Tong and Xianhua. The three spirits combined. They all gained a certain level of mental resistance. Barely able to resist the mental attack of the wooden fish sound, a quest prompt popped up. Enter the Jijiao temple. Find the unknown female ghost. Domination +10. Lin Feng was startled. Wait a minute. Why is the unknown female ghost in Jijiao temple? Isn't that the one with the orange umbrella who was rescued? At this point, Lin Feng could only grit his teeth and go in to take a look. Lin Feng, plucking up his courage, walked to the boundary, and looked inside. He saw a ghost nun striking a wooden fish, with a group of devout followers sitting beside her. Among them was the cat-faced ghost woman who was previously sucked into the Jizhao temple. Shuiyu's scalp tingled at this sight. She felt a bit resistant to entering Jizhao temple. Lin Feng firmly grasped the hands of the two sisters. Don't be afraid, stay close to me. The sisters' fear instantly vanished. The two sisters blushed and looked at Lin Feng. However, after they entered the barrier, the scene inside instantly changed. The previous gloom and terror completely vanished. Instead, there was bright sunshine and solemn Buddhist statues. Turning around, even the surroundings behind them had become so unfamiliar. Suddenly, two young nuns ran up and pointed at Lin Feng and the other two, asking, "Who are you?" Especially after seeing Lin Feng, their emotions became agitated. "You're a man. Don't you know this is a nunnery? Yurong, call the abbess." Yurong immediately took out the signal flare she carried. With a whoosh, the flare shot into the sky. It caused quite a commotion. Soon, a large group of women surrounded him. Most harbored a deep hostility towards men, especially when they saw Lin Feng leading two girls by himself. Their voices grew increasingly agitated. Even so, when this woman appeared, they all fell silent. "Make way. The abbess is here." She slowly walked to the front of everyone. She gave Lin Feng a bow. She softly replied, "I am Qingzhu, the abbess of Jizhao temple." "Sir, you are a ghost exorcist, aren't you?" Lin Feng answered truthfully. "Yes," but he thought to himself, "Isn't this the ghost nun from before? Why does it feel completely different?" At this moment, Qingzhu's eyes instantly turned sharp. She continued to ask, "And what about them?" Lin Feng could feel that these women seemed to be very repulsed by men. For a moment, he didn't know how to answer. Fortunately, Zhuoling was quick-witted. She spoke first. "We are his cousins. We were chased by ghosts, and my cousin saved us and brought us here." Hearing this answer, everyone's hostility lessened considerably. They whispered amongst themselves, thinking we had abducted a woman. Qingzhu spoke, "Then do you know that the gates of Jizhao temple are forbidden to men? You should leave." Leaving? Lin Feng became anxious. "It's not easy to come all this way. How can we leave without figuring things out?" Lin Feng hurriedly spoke. "We come from the distant Haicheng. We don't know the rules here. Besides, it's full of ghosts outside right now." Shuiyu quickly cooperated. "We heard that Jizhao temple takes in the helpless people. That's why we came seeking refuge. Could you let us stay for a few days?" Shuiyu's pitiful appearance aroused everyone's sympathy, but they knew the abbess would certainly not easily break her vows. But who would have guessed that the next second, Qingzhu spoke. Xinlian arranged 2 rooms for them. Under Xinlian's guidance, Lin Feng passed through the hall. It was the place where he had seen the ghost nun striking the wooden fish earlier. After walking for a while, they still hadn't reached Lin Feng and the others' rooms. Xinlian explained that Jizhao temple was quite large. More than 7,300 people live here. Please be careful, benefactor. Don't get lost. Nieho and Lin Feng were taken to the Guyu courtyard. The dining hall is behind us. Lin Feng and the other two bowed to Xinlian to express their gratitude. Xinlian left afterwards. Lin Feng and the other two looked at the identity cards in their hands. All of them had lost signal. It seems we're completely cut off from reality here. Zhuoling didn't understand. Jizhao temple should have been wiped out 50 years ago. But here, everything is so peaceful. Everyone is living so realistically. It doesn't seem like ghosts are playing a role at all. Lin Feng began to explain. "I encountered a similar situation before in Xuanhua's ghost domain. It's likely a ghost from a multiple-layered ghost domain, creating an illusion. Usually, it's a recreation of one of its memories. Only by resolving its knot can one escape." Suddenly, Zhuoling and Zhuoyu thought of a terrifying fact. So this is the ghostly domain of the Jizhao nunnery's abbess. Then her unresolved issue is the following speculation. They didn't dare to say it, for fear it would come true. Lin Feng continued their unfinished sentence. The Jizhao nunnery massacre. If this is truly the crux of the matter, for Lin Feng and the others, the difficulty would undoubtedly be hellish. Right now, there's no use daydreaming here. Let's try to decipher the information, while I go outside to verify my hypothesis. Leaving the courtyard, Zhuoling and Zhuoyu discovered, there are so many women here, and life here completely abandons technology. But it brings safety in return. Not far away, 3 women washing clothes are discussing those hateful onmyoji in Haijo. They lock up beautiful women as objects of their release. Thankfully, the abbess led people to eliminate them. Another woman echoed, "That's right, that's right. Men are all no good." A woman in pink spoke. "I heard that a Ghost Master League has recently appeared. It seems to be controlling and managing all Ghost Masters." Others clearly showed disdain for this. "Never heard of it. Just don't bother Jizhao temple to find out information." Zhuoling and Zhuyu stepped forward to help. They helped a beautiful girl fetch ice. After fetching the water, Zhuyu spoke first. Sister, you're so pretty. Where are you from? She spoke so frankly, but her words left the others speechless. I used to be from Pingcheng, but those on Myoji. She didn't finish her sentence, but the two sisters understood. Zhuoling had been too well protected by her father. She was almost naive to the ways of the world. She asked, puzzled, On Myoji can repel evil spirits. Logically, they should be good people. Good answer. They did repel the evil spirits, but they also seized control of everything, acting like petty tyrants. They tyrannized the people without restraint. Ghosts only kill people, but sometimes people are more terrifying than ghosts. At this time, Lin Feng, avoiding everyone's notice, climbed onto the roof. Looking around, the scene outside Jizhao Temple has changed considerably. I don't know how large the affected area is. After jumping over the wall, Lin Feng continued walking outward for a considerable distance. Finally, he reached the boundary. Although he could still see the outside scenery, he couldn't get out. Before long, it was mealtime. Lin Feng and the two others, to avoid being too conspicuous, went to the dining hall to eat. Zhuoling picked up a bun, and was about to taste it, but was interrupted by Lin Feng. This is ghost food, you can't just eat it. Secretly throw the food into your storage space, and we'll eat our own food later. Saying this, Lin Feng put the buns from the dining hall into his storage space. They disappeared as soon as they went in, because it's virtual. Halfway through eating, Lin Feng noticed the abbess had arrived. He immediately stood up. He sat down beside the abbess. He thanked the abbess for her hospitality. Upon closer inspection, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel moved. Even without hair, you're so beautiful. The abbess's appearance is truly perfect. Lin Feng was momentarily stunned. His gaze was fixed, unable to look away. He was noticed by the abbess. What do you want? Lin Feng, in a moment of inspiration, explained, the ghost chasing me is a powerful abyssal rank 1 evil spirit. I'm afraid I'll cause you trouble. Abyss rank 1, that means you'd have to be at least an S-class on Myoji to survive. Lin Feng was bluffing, but he inadvertently let the abbot guess his strength. He could only press on. Yes, so I thought it might be best to leave as soon as possible. But the abbot didn't take abyss rank seriously at all. He spoke calmly. Don't worry, if that abyssal level comes, I will make a move. Come find me at Mingxin Hall tomorrow morning. The abbess doesn't know how lightly she took it, how much of a shock it brought to Lin Feng, to not even consider an abyssal level a threat. Just how strong is this abbess? If she's this strong, how was the Jizhao temple destroyed? The next morning, knock knock. Lin Feng arrived at Mingxin Hall. It was the very place where the ghost nun had been striking the wooden fish. When Lin Feng arrived, the abbess was already striking the wooden fish. Her posture was exactly the same as that ghost nun's. Seeing Lin Feng arrive, the abbess said nothing more. Just have him sit down. Lin Feng curiously asked, Abbot, there are clearly Buddha statues here. Why are you striking the wooden fish against the wall? The abbot replied, in these times of widespread suffering, it's better to rely on oneself than on the gods. It's better to cultivate one's mind than to cultivate Buddhahood. So, Abbot, what do you need me for? Lin Feng voiced his question. This time, the abbess didn't answer. She simply continued striking the wooden fish. An hour passed like this. The two remained in their respective positions, one striking the fish, the other lost in thought. But actually, Lin Feng was growing suspicious. Why wasn't she speaking? I want to sit for a while. 2 hours later, the abbot stopped striking the wooden fish. He said to Lin Feng, You are very patient. You may go now. Come back tomorrow at the same time. Come back again tomorrow. Lin Feng got up and took his leave, his heart filled with countless questions. What does she want to do? In this ghostly place, Lin Feng could only follow her lead for now. Perhaps she has her own plans. The next day, Zhuyu asked her sister early in the morning, Did you see Lin Feng? Zhuoling replied, He went to Mingxin Hall early this morning again. In Mingxin Hall, the two were as they were yesterday. The abbess struck the wooden fish. Lin Feng sat quietly behind him. Only it was a longer time. It was already noon, the 7th hour. On the 3rd day, listening to the familiar sound of the wooden fish, Lin Feng began to reap the rewards. This sound of the wooden fish was different from the ghost nun's mental attack. It was very calming and focused. Time seemed to be passing quickly. Lin Feng didn't know. If the abbot was trying to test him, it might be a trigger mechanism for the ghost domain. Since he wasn't being driven away, he would just wait it out. 7 days later, when Lin Feng returned to the courtyard, it was already evening. In the courtyard, they were bustling about, festively decorated. Seeing Lin Feng return at 7 o'clock, Zhuyu excitedly showed off. Lin Feng, look. Sister Qin is giving birth tomorrow. These are the blessing lanterns we made by hand. Seeing Lin Feng return, night had also fallen. Xin Lian and Xin Yuan rose to bid farewell. Lin Feng realized something. Now Zhuoling and Zhuyu have already become close with the people in the temple. Because of this, they've learned quite a bit of news about Jizhao Temple. First, everyone here believes They are living in the real Jizhao temple of 50 years ago. Its exact location is in the northwest of Haicheng, near the southern part of Pingcheng's 3 defense zones. There are 30 nuns here in total. 10 of them are ghost masters. They are responsible for protecting everyone. They are all very strong. Just like Xian Yuan and Xian Lian I just met. They are both S-class ghost masters, and they each control 2 evil spirits. Lin Feng's face changed drastically upon hearing this. Even in today's Onmyoji alliance, S-class malevolent spirits are extremely rare, yet they each control 2. Zhuo Ling continued. The Onmyoji here have always controlled malevolent spirits throughout the generations, but none have ever lost control. I wonder how they did it. Lin Feng pondered. Based on this timeline, the ghost masters have already begun to cultivate benevolent spirits. Because controlling malevolent spirits is unstable, they don't live long. It seems this Jizhao temple is an exception. They haven't been backlashed. Perhaps it's related to their cultivation. The abbess likely also controls a malevolent spirit. She sits quietly, striking the wooden fish. It's a form of spiritual cultivation. Then she asked me to go and keep her company. Was it to elevate my spirit? Thinking this, Lin Feng inquired about the abbess's background. Zhuoyu hesitated before answering. I heard from Xian Yuan that she was an orphan taken in by the old abbess. Growing up, she showed exceptional abilities. After the old abbess's death, she succeeded her. Xinlian said she has 3 ghost spirits in total, but she's only seen 1 abyssal level 1. The other 2 haven't made a move yet. Lin Feng roughly understood the abbess's strength. The key is that this was only her strength as a ghost hunter 50 years ago. I wonder what she's like now, as a ghost nun. Just how powerful is it? The next day, Lin Feng went to Mingxin Hall as usual, preparing to cultivate his mind with the abbess. But when he arrived at the door, he found the abbess wasn't striking the wooden fish, but was already waiting for him at the gate. Looking at the abbess before him, system prompt pops up, sensing the ghost tether of the abbot of Jizhao Temple. Ghost binding task initiated. Meditate with the abbot of Jizhao Temple for 10 days. Abbot of Jizhao Temple's dominance +5. Lin Feng was taken by the abbot of Jizhao Temple to a spacious courtyard. After a series of actions, Lin Feng was dumbfounded. The abbot introduces Lin Feng to the oldest hall in this place. It houses the 3 Buddhas, crafted from pure gold. After the evil spirits ran rampant, the old abbot melted down the Buddha statues' golden bodies into gold paint, transforming this place into a golden sanctuary for those among the demons seeking survival. Lin Feng gazes at the golden chamber before him, lost in thought. This is the 3rd one he's known about. Who would have thought this Buddha statue actually has the effect of driving away ghosts? The abbess spoke, interrupting Lin Feng's thoughts. What do you think a ghost is? Lin Feng didn't answer, because he couldn't answer. Lin Feng asked the abbess in return, what do you think? The abbot didn't beat around the bush. He went straight to the point. I've been studying ghosts here. From the strange resurgence to now, over 100 types of ghosts have appeared in the world. Speaking of which, the abbot summoned his own ghost. As soon as it appeared, the surrounding temperature instantly dropped to freezing. The abbot was clearly used to it. He reached out to the ghost. Look, it's clearly a ghost I'm controlling, but I only got close to it, and my hand already became like this. The abbess's hand reaching towards the spirit was already covered in frost. She didn't mind it, continuing to say that anyone who is touched by it will die instantly, including myself. Then, the abbot waved his robe. The ghost spirits dissipated, so I was curious. What exactly are ghosts? A special kind of energy, or a pattern, or an aura? Even after reaching the state of He Tian, I still haven't fully understood. And today, I brought you here. I mainly want you to see this. The abbess came to the offering table in front of the Buddha statue. She opened the exquisite box on top. She took out a painting. The scroll slowly unfurled before Lin Feng. It was a lifelike ink painting of trees. The abbess replied, this is a ghost painting in materialized form. Lin Feng curiously asked, that's the abbess in the painting? No, that's a distant cousin of mine. I found her in Pingcheng, because I discovered that she and I share a resemblance. After inquiring, I learned of our kinship, but she died in the end. The Onmyoji of Pingcheng wanted to defile her. She chose death over surrender. She killed herself. She was my only relative. I never had the chance to spend time with her. I deeply regret that, but at the time, my research on ghosts had already reached a certain level. I used this painting to turn her into a ghost. What? Lin Feng immediately grasped the key point. Turned into a ghost. Can ghosts be created? The abbess, as the person involved, looked calm. I can only say that I created some suitable opportunities and conditions, giving her a chance to gain a second life, although this life is cruel. Lin Feng then realized to what extent the abbess's understanding of ghosts reached. It can be said that she was ahead of everyone of her time. If she were still alive, her achievements would be unimaginable. It's a pity, but there are no ifs. Such extraordinary talent. Yet she became a ghost nun. The abbess ignored Lin Feng's shock, and stated her purpose. My reason for testing you is simple. My ghost spirits haven't increased in years, so I hope you can join me, help me control this ghost painting. Lin Feng was a little curious. Why find someone to control it? The abbess explained that this ghost painting is an evil spirit. To better study it, I've been searching for a special ghost to consume it. It's become increasingly powerful. There are subtle signs of it losing control, so she wants to ask Lin Feng to help her control the ghost painting together. This made Lin Feng suddenly remember the reason he'd heard about the Jizhou Temple massacre before. That powerful, out-of-control evil spirit. Could it be this ghost painting? This might be the key to unlocking the abbess's heart. Understanding this, Lin Feng naturally agreed. However, controlling such a powerful malevolent spirit like Guihua won't be easy. He needs time to get familiar with it. The abbess plans to send Lin Feng into Guihua's world first. The abbess, with her demonic energy surging, opened the gateway to Guihua's world. He explained to Lin Feng, "You can think of it as a special ghost domain. It contains some memories left behind by the ghost paintings." Then, the abbot passed Lin Feng an object, saying, "Take this with you, and you'll be fine inside. Go." Lin Feng bravely entered the world of the ghost paintings. What he saw was a wasteland filled with ruined walls and broken buildings. Lin Feng knows that the ghost painting is part of the illusionary realm of Jizhou Temple. It's not real. This world within the painting should also be recreated by the abbess. As he moved forward, Lin Feng accidentally stepped on something. He looked down and saw a weathered skull, and it was this glance. Lin Feng caught a glimpse from the corner of his eye of something unbelievable. He abruptly turned around and discovered in a nearby abandoned building 3 figures hanging from the ceiling. Judging by their aura, they were definitely not ordinary beings. They were most likely formed into ghostly spirits. Just then, 2 onmyoji passed by. They ignored Lin Feng, who was still there, and ran towards the abandoned building, but it didn't last long. After the vortex disappeared, except for the figure in the center, which remained unchanged, the positions of the other 2 figures were replaced by the 2 onmyoji. He ignored the bodies hanging lifelessly from the ceiling. Lin Feng didn't react. He continued walking forward. He found many more hanging corpses in the trees. Lin Feng thought to himself, this must be the work of a hanging ghost. Its power is truly formidable. Even if I were to intervene, I might not gain the upper hand. Just then, a sudden change occurred. The hanged ghost let out a long, shrill cry. Its own ghost energy was uncontrollable. It floated towards the sky. Not only that, but the bodies of those who were hanged also dissipated one after another. The lingering ghost energy gathered towards the same direction. Such a huge change. Lin Feng naturally realized it too. I followed the direction of the ghostly energy. A ghostly painting floated in midair. Anything with even a trace of ghostly energy was pulled towards it by a powerful suction. All the evil spirits, without any resistance, were sucked into the vortex formed by the ghostly painting. Seeing this, the image began to crumble. Lin Feng snapped back to reality. I found we're back at the Golden Hall of the Jizhou Temple. The abbess is still in her original place, never leaving. See? This is the scene of Guihua's most recent secret escape. Lin Feng responded with lingering fear. She actually ran off on her own. It seems there's a risk of her losing control, and her actions. It's clearly a hunt. The abbess confirmed Lin Feng's statement. She continued, adding that it has the ability to devour. That's why the entire city was covered with the scroll, to wipe out all the ghosts inside. Even if there were people, they would be indiscriminately slaughtered. This is a scene all the men of Haicheng admire. The 2 little princesses of the Haicheng Ghost Master Association. Chi-Chi clung to Lin Feng. I can't shake her off. But Lin Feng looked helpless. Will you let me sleep? Zhuyu directly burrowed into Lin Feng's arms, complaining, why is it so scary in the ghost domain tonight? How am I supposed to sleep? Zhuoling was slightly more rational. She felt something was wrong with the lightning. These words struck a chord with Lin Feng. Since saying goodbye to the abbess that day, he had a nagging feeling of foreboding. After much deliberation, Lin Feng decided to go out and check the situation. But as soon as he opened the door, he felt a terrifying demonic aura. Could this be? Lin Feng immediately thought of number 7. The Jizhou Temple massacre happened. At that moment in the sky, a bolt of lightning flashed. Everything returned to silence. When Lin Feng woke up, he didn't know how much time had passed. He only remembered being knocked unconscious by the demonic energy. Looking up again, the originally cozy Guyu courtyard, it turned back into a gloomy ghost realm. Suddenly, Lin Feng thought of the 2 sisters, Zhuoling and Zhuyu. He hurriedly turned and rushed into the room. He found the 2 sisters collapsed on the floor. Everything in the room had also disappeared. The 2 sisters, awakened by Lin Feng, were still a little dazed. What happened? What's going on now? But we're still within the ghost nun's ghostly domain. Is that so? Zhuoling and Zhuyu couldn't help but feel sentimental. Everyone in the illusion was so friendly. We can't see them anymore. Fortunately, Xinlian and Xinyuan's gifts are still here. Now they've become spirit tokens. I can still summon them to stay by my side. The 2 sisters took a moment to feel sad. Lin Feng pondered what he should do next. The abbess had told him, even if he were to be killed by Guihua Sha, she would lock it away. So it's highly likely that Guihua Sha is still locked away in the Golden House. Thinking this, Lin Feng called the two sisters and went out to take a look. I've returned to the once bustling courtyard. Now it's deserted. Following his memory, Lin Feng led the two sisters to the bamboo grove path. The two sisters curiously asked, but there's no path ahead. Lin Feng suddenly realized, yes, the ghost painting can only be sealed with gold. This is just the ghost nun's virtual ghost realm. It seems we need to find the real Jizhao temple. Ding! A system prompt interrupted Lin Feng's thoughts. The task of finding the unknown female ghost is still incomplete. Lin Feng remembered there was still an unknown female ghost. It was because of her that he came to Jizhao temple in the first place. Lin Feng turned to Zhuyu and said, let's try. Can you still sense her? The female ghost who wrote the ghost letter before. Zhuyu took out the doll she specifically used for tracking. The doll sensed for a while. It pointed in a direction with its finger. Following the doll's guidance, the three of them passed through one door after another. They passed by one secluded courtyard after another. Finally, they found number 7 in the Zhaoyue courtyard. System prompt, successfully located unknown female ghost. Ghost umbrella bond plus 10. After several preliminary tasks, Lin Feng and Ghost Umbrella's bond is now 33. Lin Feng thinks Ghost Umbrella shouldn't attack him anymore. He confidently steps forward. He discovers a barrier at the courtyard gate as well. No wonder Ghost Umbrella couldn't get out. Fortunately, it didn't affect Lin Feng and the others going inside. The Ghost Umbrella seemed to recognize it. This is the guy who delivered the message to me. It flew into Lin Feng's hand on its own. Next, it's time for Xianhua to perform. Lin Feng summoned Xianhua. He said, Xianhua, use your Xunpa to take us away. Over the empty wasteland, a red orb appeared. It was Lin Feng, brought here by Xuanhua's flash escape. Just then, a jeep drove by in the distance. Lin Feng wouldn't miss this opportunity. His priority was to figure out the situation. The three Onmyoji in the jeep were chatting casually. This year's ghost exorcism performance. Pingcheng is the first of the 5 central cities. Mid-conversation, we noticed. A steed was galloping towards us from the front. No, normal horses aren't that fast. They realized it was an evil spirit. The experienced Sanhua quickly dismounted, and summoned his own ghost, preparing for battle. Because the demonic energy we sensed was truly too intense. The newcomers were Lin Feng and 2 others, riding ghost horses. Seeing the 3 Onmyoji before them, standing in battle stances, Lin Feng calmly spoke. Excuse me, but, where exactly are we? The 3 Onmyoji, upon seeing Lin Feng and his companions, also realized. So it's a ghost master. Then, withdrawing my ghost spirit, I replied, this is near Pingcheng. Who are you? We're from Haicheng. Do you know the location of Jizhao Temple? Hearing that Lin Feng was from Haicheng, ordinary people were awestruck by Lin Feng's strength. I've made a rough judgment. He can safely cross the no man's land, and has such a unique and eccentric aura. He must be a big shot. Ji Mao Tu quickly found the location of the Jichao Temple ruins on his identity card. It's located on Niujian Mountain, in the northern 3rd defense zone of Pingcheng. Lin Feng looked at Ji Mao Tu's identity card and was stunned. Lin Feng was stunned when he saw Ji Mao Tu's identity card. It wasn't because this position was off, but because he saw the date on number 7's identity tag. Lin Feng asked incredulously, isn't it October of 36? The chicken head was startled. What's wrong with the time? He replied, a little puzzled. Yes, sir. Is there a problem? Lin Feng, Zhuoling, and Zhuyu exchanged a glance. When they first entered the Jizhao Temple, it was clearly July of 35 years ago. The most likely scenario is that the time flow rate within the Jizhao Temple's ghost domain is different from the outside world. He then mounted the ghost horse and turned to leave, leaving 3 ghost masters completely bewildered. What nonsense is this guy spouting? It's such a pity for the 2 beautiful women. They followed someone who's gone crazy. On the road, Lin Feng apologetically spoke to the 2 sisters with a guilty conscience. I'm sorry, I only wanted you to help me for a few days, but it ended up taking so much longer than expected. Zhuoling and Zhuyu wouldn't blame Lin Feng, of course. No one could have imagined this, except they thought of their father. They haven't heard from him for over a year. They don't know if he's alright. Zhuoling and Zhuyu's worries are not unfounded. At this moment, Chairman Zhua has covered his room's walls with Lin Feng's photos. He also knows about Lin Feng's attack. Now both Lin Feng and his daughters are missing. He looked utterly despondent. He whimpered, give me back my precious daughter. Afterwards, Lin Feng didn't rush to Niujia Mountain. He found a place, and let the 2 sisters rest. Stroking Xianhua in his arms, Lin Feng sighed, I can finally have a good night's sleep in the real world. At last, even at Jizhao Temple, I couldn't let Xianhua leave. Just then, an orange umbrella stealthily found Lin Feng's resting place. The pink umbrella Lin Feng carried also stirred. Xianhua keenly sensed all this. Quickly rising, this also startled the sleeping Lin Feng. She shielded Lin Feng behind her. The orange umbrella appeared before them. Lin Feng recognized it instantly. It was the orange umbrella Xianhua rescued from the ghost nun's ghostly realm using flash escape. The orange umbrella suddenly emitted a surge of ghostly energy. Xianhua instinctively lunged towards Lin Feng, trying to shield him. Unfortunately, it was to no avail. Lin Feng was pulled into the seventh ghost realm by the orange umbrella. What met Lin Feng's eyes was a magnificent pavilion. The entire ghost realm emanated a golden glow. Looking at this scene before him, Lin Feng muttered involuntarily, "Magnificent. This is his ghost realm." Lin Feng was stunned for a moment. Countless small paper umbrellas converged. One after another, they merged into the orange umbrella, repairing the damaged parts of the orange umbrella. Until the orange umbrella was completely repaired, a system prompt arrived. The Ghost Umbrella Final Bond quest has been unlocked. Go to the Ghost Tamer Alliance headquarters. Rescue the third Ghost Umbrella. Complete this task. To bind the Ghost Umbrella. Lin Feng pondered silently. Sure enough, the orange umbrella and the pink umbrella are the same ghost spirit. And there's another clone. Could that clone be in the golden prison that President Yun mentioned? Could it be that I'm going to have to break someone out of prison? But this task is so difficult. A complete ghost umbrella shouldn't be simple, right? It can create so many clones. Area attacks must be incredibly useful. Perhaps after the three umbrellas merge, there will be some hidden functions. Then the ghost umbrella actively flew in front of Zilin Feng. Lin Feng felt that it had no malicious intent. He spoke to it, saying, "Follow me first. I'll help you rescue the other umbrella. But when will we go? I decide." The ghost umbrella understood Lin Feng's meaning. It proactively retracted its ghostly domain. Lin Feng returned to his bed. Xianhua stayed there guarding him. He didn't leave. The next day, Lin Feng took the two sisters to Nujin Mountain, but there was no trace of Jizhao Temple. After a whole morning, they found nothing. Chuyu pointed to the distance, seeing something interesting. She curiously asked, "Wow, what's that?" Lin Feng explains it to her. "That's an ancient abandoned city wall, I think. I heard many parts of it have been discovered. It has a history of several thousand years. The people of that time still lived in a world without ghosts." Regarding this thing they'd never seen before, Chuyu was in high spirits. Upon closer inspection, he discovered a temple behind the city walls. Lin Feng immediately made up his mind to go and take a look. Upon arriving, he found it was just an abandoned little temple. It was of no value. Zhuoling, behind Lin Feng, suddenly spoke. "Lin Feng, there's a ghost." The ghost butterfly swirled around his fingertips, sensing the ghostly energy ahead. Lin Feng didn't pay attention. With his current strength, even if he couldn't win, he could escape. It would be good practice for Zhuoling and Zhuoyu. He watched from the sidelines, just in case. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu stepped forward. They clutched the ghost spirit's token tightly in their hands. You see, under the protection of Chairman Zhuo, they had never participated in a battle before. They only did tracking work. This was their first time facing an evil spirit directly. The evil spirit in the dilapidated temple also sensed a human presence. It couldn't wait to rush out. It was a bald, red-haired monkey. This ferocious creature pounced on the two sisters. A ferocious red-haired monkey charged out of the dilapidated temple. Zhuoling and Zhuyu, who had never experienced battle, stepped forward. As the evil spirit drew closer, the two sisters summoned Xinlian and Xinyuan. Upon appearing, they displayed powerful demonic energy. Facing the claws that lunged towards them, Xinlian struck out with a palm strike. Chains of condensed demonic energy met the evil spirit, easily disrupting its attack, and continued to extend, wrapping around it. Finally, after holding on for a few seconds, evil spirits disappear after death. The two sisters were very happy to see the situation in front of them. This is their first time. Defeat the sand evil spirit with your own abilities. Lin Feng didn't expect it either. They killed the evil spirit in seconds without even opening the ghost realm. Xinlian and Xinyuan are probably at least A level, even the S-class. After the ghosts are eliminated, the two sisters happily came forward to say hello to Xinlian and Xinyuan. It's a pity that they didn't respond at all. It was obviously in the ghost realm before. They are so alive. Lost consciousness now. But the next second, they should have returned to the ghost spirit relic. Instead, they turned and left of their own accord. Lin Feng immediately realized that they were leading him to the Jizhao temple. He quickly summoned Guema to follow. Sure enough, after a while, Xinlian and Xinyuan stopped. They turned to look at Lin Feng and the other two, and behind them, it was the ruins of Jizhaoan that Lin Feng was searching for. Although the goal is close at hand, Lin Feng was not in a hurry either. He knows very well that Jizhaoan involves many powerful ghosts and spirits. Be careful. All the way down, a familiar scene. It all seems a little unfamiliar, hidden as it is by the trees. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. It really has only been a short time. Yet so much has changed. There are quite a few skeletons in the courtyard and hall. It seems the ghost painter's massacre was truly horrific. After carefully investigating, Zhuoling said to Lin Feng, No, something's wrong. These skeletons on the ground are clearly too large. The jawbones are too robust, they couldn't possibly belong to women from the nunnery. Jiaozhou nunnery explicitly forbids men from entering. How could there be so many male skeletons? And judging from the scene, they all died in battle. One object among the skeletal remains caught Lin Feng's attention. I picked it up and looked. It's a pinching pass. Following Lin Feng, the two sisters also found pinching passes in different places. They found pinching passes. So they are most likely on Myoji from pinching. But according to what Lin Feng and the others know, Jizhou Temple should have been wiped out by ghosts. I fear there's more to this than meets the eye. Observing his surroundings, Lin Feng followed his memory towards the golden chamber. There were no human traces. The bamboo grove in the backyard was even more lush. As the three of them ventured deeper into the bamboo grove, a few bamboo leaves stirred without a breeze, slowly drifting down. Immediately, a powerful oppressive force descended. The three of them couldn't move their legs at all. This is definitely an evil spirit of an overwhelming power level. Lin Feng's gaze was fixed ahead. A lotus platform carrying a ghost slowly floated towards them. Lin Feng was all too familiar with this evil spirit. It was the abyssal-level evil spirit originally controlled by the abyss, Ghost Guanyin. What impressed Lin Feng even more was her ability. No matter who it encounters, it will hiss. Now, without the suppression of the abbot of Jizhou Temple, it has reverted to its evil nature. It attacks anyone it sees. Upon discovering Lin Feng and the others approaching, it immediately deployed its ghost domain. Lin Feng didn't dare to be negligent. Quickly summoned Xianhua. Expand the ghost realm to fight against it. Then Tong Tong appeared. The appearance is a strong mutation mode. He rushed forward with a large knife in his hand. Look at Tong Tong's posture. Lin Feng was afraid that she didn't know how powerful Guanyin was. Remind her to be careful not to encounter the ghost Guanyin. Tong Tong went inside. He flashed to the side of Gui Guanyin. He simply swung his large blade and hacked at it. Even so, frost tinged Tong Tong's cheeks. His large blade was repeatedly shattered. This was simply an insurmountable opponent. This was the first time Tong Tong had ever encountered such a strong enemy. Not only were his weapons destroyed, my limbs were freezing. I almost died, but luckily Lin Feng had tied the ghost rope around Tong Tong's waist. He pulled her back. Not only that, even Xuanhua's double ghost domain couldn't withstand the ghost Guanyin's crushing force. It had already developed cracks. In the short time it took Lin Feng to catch the severely injured Tong Tong, Xuanhua's ghost domain could no longer hold. It's already shattered layer by layer. Lin Feng and his group are completely exposed within Gui Guanyin's ghost domain. Not only that, Gui Guanyin also used her ghost weapon. She drew out a willow branch from the pure bottle. It swept across the air. Lin Feng instantly realized something was wrong. The snowflakes were falling slower. No, everything in the ghost domain is slowing down. Aside from the ghost Guanyin herself. At this moment, she was already charging towards everyone. A group of ghost spirits tried to stop Ghost Guanyin, but they couldn't react in time. Ghost Guanyin had already rushed to Lin Feng. Luckily, Lin Feng summoned his ghost sword to defend. But even the golden ghost sword, it's also difficult to withstand Gui Guanyin's power. The ghost sword disintegrates. The next second, Gui Guanyin's hand will touch Lin Feng. Everyone escaped Gui Guanyin's ghost domain. They arrived outside the number 7 backyard. Fortunately, Xianhua used the number 7 flash escape in time. Otherwise, Lin Feng might have died young. This time, Lin Feng was truly careless. After what we've just been through, Zhuoling and Zhuoyu are also quite scared. Lin Feng, didn't you just say that you've seen this ghost? Zhuoling suddenly spoke. Lin Feng pondered for a moment and replied, yes, the abbess introduced it to me. Lin Feng recalled what the abbess had told him. The mechanism of Ghost Guanyin hissing at the slightest touch is because her body is enveloped by an extremely cold barrier of ghostly energy. Energy that even ghosts cannot withstand. Anything that touches it will be instantly frozen and reduced to powder. That means we have to first break through her ghostly domain, escape the slowed state, and then destroy the barrier of yang energy enveloping her. It can cause harm, but the difference in our strength is too great. We can't compete at all. Lin Feng took out a string of Buddhist beads from his storage space and said, it seems I have to ask the abbess for help this time. Lin Feng clearly remembered what the abbess had said before. In the ghost domain, you can use these prayer beads to chant her dharma name. She will come to help. Lin Feng held the prayer beads and spoke softly, Qingzhu. The rhythmic sound of the wooden fish began. Immediately afterwards, Lin Feng and the others were completely enveloped by a ghostly realm that appeared out of thin air. Not only that, but the ghostly realm was rapidly expanding. Furthermore, the ghostly realm was rapidly expanding. In an instant, the entire Jizhou Temple was enveloped by this ghostly realm that appeared out of nowhere. And the ghost Guanyin in the backyard immediately found itself in trouble. Its ghostly realm seemed so fragile before the Jizhou Temple's ghostly realm. In the blink of an eye, it began to crumble. Simultaneously, the continuous sound of wooden fish. It's also affecting Gui Guanyin's consciousness, just resisting the interference of the wooden fish sound. has already used up most of its energy. Lin Feng and the others heard the screams coming from the backyard where Gui Guanyin was. They realized that it had been suppressed. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh, because he didn't successfully bind the abyss. He couldn't summon her. But just the ghost domain has already had a huge impact on the ghost Guanyin. Lin Feng didn't rush to attack the ghost Guanyin. Instead, he let Tong Tong use ghost energy to repair the ghost sword previously damaged by the ghost Guanyin. Everything was ready. When Lin Feng and the others arrived at the backyard, they found that the ghost Guanyin's ghost domain was already in ruins. It was already in a state of extreme pain. However, the barrier of ghostly energy around it remained intact. Fortunately, Lin Feng had already devised a plan. He directly pulled out the ghost mirror. Under the special ability of the ghost mirror, Tong Tong and Xuanhua's duplicates appeared one after another, and Lin Feng's plan was to have Xianhua directly use ghost fire to attack forcefully when the ghost mirror copies an enemy. But if it copies an ally, it can achieve 100%. Lin Feng didn't believe that even 3 times the faint ghost fire could break through the ghost Guanyin's extreme cold barrier. The facts were as Lin Feng thought. Amidst the pa-pa sound of the ghost fire's scorching heat, the ghostly energy barrier of ghost Guanyin gradually melts away. On the other side, the 3 mutated Tong Tong holding ghost swords are already poised for action. They have long been ready. Lin Feng sees that the situation is nearly right. With a single command, Tong Tong, now. As Lin Feng's words fall, 3 streaks of red lightning shoot straight toward ghost Guanyin. The golden ghost sword's blows landed repeatedly on the ghost Guanyin, finally inflicting irreparable damage. As the system prompt sounded, victory. You, with your ghost spirit, Sha, have slain the abyssal tier 1 evil spirit, officially declaring the demise of the ghost Guanyin. The ghost Guanyin's remaining ghost energy was absorbed by the cold jade bottle, becoming Lin Feng's spoils of war. But there's a usage limit. Not only that, another system prompt arrived. Your spirit companion, Tong Tong, can upgrade. Do you want to use 1 spirit pill to upgrade? Thus, Tong Tong, who had been with Lin Feng all along, welcomed its own abyssal level evolution. It also gained a new ability, Icy Ghost Hand, a cold attribute attack. It's even more effective against specific enemies. Lin Feng, thanks to Tong Tong, gained a 6-fold physical enhancement. Zhuoling and Zhuoyu were amazed by Lin Feng's endless tricks. Zhuoyu, even bolder, wanted to touch Lin Feng's ghost mirror, but just then, wisps of ghostly energy drifted from the cold jade bottle. The ghost-reflecting mirror absorbed it. The 3 stood rooted to the spot. They didn't know what had happened. A moment later, an image appeared in the ghost-reflecting mirror. The abbess of Ji Zhao Temple was traveling with 2 nuns. Lin Feng immediately reached a conclusion. It was an image showing that the abbess was still alive. Could this be Gui Guanyin's memory? She's escaping. 2 strong men are chasing her relentlessly. The woman is finally exhausted. She's grabbed by the men who are close behind. He shows no mercy. He roughly drags the woman away. The woman is taken to a narrow alley. A burly man spoke ingratiatingly to a ghost master. Tao Gu, I've brought the people back. 2 women knelt beside him. They were tightly bound. The woman in pink was unyielding. Even in danger, she refused to submit. She immediately cursed Tao Gu as a beast. Tao Gu smiled. She's a beautiful woman. It's a pity she has a mouth. He immediately slapped her. A slender hand suddenly appeared, stopping Tao Ji's action. It was the abbess who intervened. The abbess asked, "Who are you? Why bully a woman?" Tao Gu turned his head. He was immediately captivated by the abbess's delicate appearance. "Wow, little nun, you're really pretty. Come with me." As soon as he finished speaking, Tao Gu noticed something was wrong. Frost had somehow formed on his body. A wave of intense cold surged towards him. He had no chance to speak again. Gui Guanyin appeared behind the abbess. She grabbed Tao Gu with one hand. Tao Gu was instantly frozen into an ice sculpture, shattering inch by inch. The other 2 strong men, seeing this scene, turned pale with fright. Tao Gu hissed, "This nun is a ghost exorcist. It's still the evil spirit you're controlling." The 2 of them immediately knelt down. "Spare our lives, my lord. We were only following orders. These are all women the Wei family, a family of exorcists." Once, the abbess doesn't care how powerful the Wei family is, but the handkerchief tied to this strong man's hand caused the abbess's expression to change. The abbess instantly recognized this as her cousin's handkerchief, now stained with snow. It's in someone else's hands. The abbess hastily questioned, "Speak. Where did you get this handkerchief?" The strong man hesitated, stammering out the answer. "This, was from last night at the Wei family's. A young woman couldn't bear the humiliation and killed herself. The handkerchief she left behind was quite beautiful, so I picked it up and used it." The abbess listened without saying a word, but her grip on the handkerchief tightened. Her face was terrifyingly cold. That night, Wei Bufan's private residence was frozen solid for miles. The abbess, with 2 nuns, completely turned the Wei family's home upside down. Wei Bufan of the Wei family was frozen into an ice sculpture, then crushed to powder. The two nuns who came with the abbess rescued the trapped women. They wept loudly over their own miserable experiences, and for those deceased sisters. But things are far from that simple. Wei Bubai, the head of the Wei family, learned of his younger brother's murder. He was filled with rage, no matter who it was. He would make the murderer pay the price in blood. The chance for revenge soon came. One Wei disciple luckily escaped. I explained the situation to Wei Bubi. Sha Wei Bufans is the nunnery in the north of the city that no one dares to provoke. Because of yesterday's self-immolation in Wei Bufan's house, it was the abbess's cousin. Wei Bubi automatically ignored the reason why the Jichao nunnery came to their door. He only knew that anyone who dared to touch his Wei family would die, the nunnery that no one dares to provoke. Humph, I'll let them know what happens when they offend the Wei family. The abbess, back at Jizhao Temple, also cautioned carefully. This operation will likely face retaliation. You should inform everyone to guard the various checkpoints. The little nun who accompanied her was startled. Everyone who saw us at the time, are they silenced? No one should be able to investigate, right? But the abbess felt. The Wei manor is so large. There are bound to be some that escape. We still can't let our guard down. We could set up an array to first conceal the Jizhao temple, but we're still missing some materials. So the abbess summoned the ghost Guanyin. Go to the valley and collect 6 Miao-in Bodhi trees. Hurry. Goe Guanyin received the order and turned to leave. The abbess sighed on the spot. This trouble is likely considerable. Shortly after, a sudden downpour began. But despite such terrible weather, there were still quite a few figures traveling through the forest. It turned out to be Wei Bu by leading the Wei family's ghost exorcist team. We'll use the thunderstorm as cover to infiltrate the secret passage behind the mountain. By the time Jichao Temple reacts, they'll already be severely damaged. Then, a bolt of lightning flashed. In the lightning's flash, we could see countless figures spread throughout the area. Lin Feng, Chuling, and Zhuyu instantly realized that this was their last day in the illusion. That night was also a thunderstorm. Therefore, it was most likely those Wei family members who caused the Jichao Temple massacre.